Hello, and you're listening to You Still Going On About That with myself, Rob Israel, and
Joseph K.
And you can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, Castbox, and Podbeam. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it. Tell your mom about it. And while you're at it, we also have a Facebook page. You Still Going On About That. Again, like it, join it, comment, share it. And thank you and enjoy. I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
that.
So this week we're going to talk about the best movie ever made.
Yeah.
Part of the best trilogy ever made.
Yeah.
Like it is, everyone loves it.
Right. It's like Raymond.
Raymond. Not Rayman or Raymond?
Not Rayman. Like everyone loves Raymond.
I mean, people like Rayman too. But
Raymond.
I don't think that was a TV show that people like.
No.
We're going to talk about Attack of the Clones.
Yeah. Woof.
Yeah, woof indeed. Attack of the... yeah, we'll get into that one in a minute.
Sure.
And I figured, me and you talk about it, we already did an episode for episode 1.
Yes.
I figured like every other couple of weeks, we'll probably conquer a episode of Star Wars leading up to the final installment of the Star Wars saga, Rise of the Skywalker, Episode 9.
Well, yes.
Will Rey be able to succumb to the, I don't know, whatever? Will the Emperor make a giggle?
Yeah, well, yeah, he probably will. I think that's a good idea. I like it. We've covered The Phantom Menace.
Yep.
And we did Rogue One. And we did
Done.
Right, I like that. And we did Solo.
Yeah, Nolo.
YOLO. So, and then, but that's it, right? Those are the Star
we talked
Wars
about, in that early episode, we talked about a bunch of Star Wars stuff.
True.
But mostly it was on the expanded Star Wars, the failed Disney expanded Star Wars universe.
I should have mentioned this before. A bunch of my friends that still live in Florida have started posting photographs of them at the new Disney Star Wars.
I thought that didn't open in Florida yet.
It has a soft open. I can show you pictures after we're done recording.
Ooh, I can't wait.
It looks really cool. A friend of mine posted photographs of himself on the Millennium Falcon, and you can kind of see, the passages. And another guy posted himself having a drink at the cantina. And it looks just amazing. I mean, it looks amazing. There's stormtroopers walking. There's
Disney stormtroopers.
Yes.
Okay, so
with little mouse ears.
We'll get into Star Wars in a minute.
Yes.
I figured we could talk about. There's been a couple announcements this week.
Oh yeah.
So this show is like a little weird because we want these episodes to be more timely. And
right.
I know we talk about current events in our episodes.
Yes.
But I want people to be able to listen to like this episode like a year from now and feel like they're not listening to a repeat. Like Attack of the Clones is a movie came out in 2002. Yeah, 2002. So the movie's like super old already.
Jeez,
it really is. And so I want this episode to feel like
evergreen.
Yeah, like you could listen to this anytime. Just like you could pop in that DVD or episode 2 that you bought right after the movie came out. But there has been some pop culture events this week.
Yeah, a couple big ones.
Yeah, so first one, I don't know how much we'll get into it because there really hasn't been any information about it.
Right.
The Matrix is coming back.
Yeah, Matrix 4.
Matrix 4, I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
Search for More Money.
Right. Well, they signed Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss. Now, did they sign Lawrence Fishburne?
Supposedly, from what I'm hearing, the rumor is that they actually want him to be young in this one.
Oh.
So
they'd get like a younger actor.
They want like Morpheus to be is this a prequel?
Okay.
Is this what is this?
Well, and only one of the Wachowski?
Supposedly only Lana?
Yes, only one of the sisters is coming back to do directing. And previously it was both of them, right? I mean,
yes.
Right. But so that's kind of an odd mix.
Yeah, I don't know what to deal with. It's too early to tell. I don't know what the movie will be about. I find it a little odd, though, because as much as I love the first one and the second one's heavily flawed, I don't mind the third one.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like you get these movies that, like, it's supposed to be in this distant future, or this like distant sci-fi future, but it takes place in a present day when they go in the Matrix. So they're dealing with the present technology of like late 90s, early 2000s. So are they gonna stick to that, or are they gonna like all of a sudden have smartphone technology in these movies? And like, how do you explain that? Like, I know that's like I know this is like dorky, but they're gonna have it. Like, how do you explain that? How does that make sense? I don't like. I kind of want like it'd be kind of funny if like this movie follows like the Force Awakens, where you're introduced to a new character, a Rey type character, and she's handed a burner phone.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, it's Neo's burner phone.
Right.
And she has to go find Neo. And it's like just a shitty cell phone from the 90s, a flip phone from the 90s that they would use to get out of the Matrix.
I don't think that's like that.
No, I hope they just do that. And then the end of the movie, like, you don't see, you're like, where the fuck's Neo in this movie? Right. And then she finds Neo, and Neo's like, turns around, and he's got a big grandpa beard, and she hands the flip phone, and he stares, and it's like, wait, it's the same. I just watched Force Awakens.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, I don't think that's even.
And then and then they do. It's another sequel where Neo takes the flip phone, throws it over his head.
Yeah. And there's cowboys.
And then there's like 1,000 YouTube videos about SJWs or something.
Whoa,
by a bunch of angry right-wing trolls.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of a cool thing. I think it's interesting that they would do it now.
I mean, I'm not against it. I'm just curious how they're going to do it, and I'll let the wizards that work on that.
Sure, yeah.
They will not fail.
Yeah, right. Well, don't you think it's weird that Keanu Reeves, because he's kind of at a career, he's on like a renaissance wave right now. I mean, he's got the John Wick movies, right? Yep, very popular.
And I know people like them, but they're not as big as The Matrix was. They're nowhere near. They're like, they fit a certain niche. He's very popular, and I know he's like an internet meme for years.
Right.
And he's like, and he's doing Bill and Ted, which I think is awesome.
Yes, yeah.
So it's cool. He's going to do that. I find it interesting because I know Marvel's been trying to get him in a movie.
Right. They wanted him to play.
There's been all kinds of roles that they've been wanting to play.
I'm trying to say Gambit, but it's not him. But anyway, I know Marvel's been after him.
There's been all kinds of characters that people have been throwing around that they wanted him to play.
Right.
One of them was Namor. He's too old.
Yeah.
He's too old to be playing those characters.
Right.
I think. And he probably knows that too. I mean, I know people claim that he's a modern day. What's that character? The one that lives forever, that has the painting. And
Dorian Gray.
Yeah, he's a modern Dorian Gray.
Yeah.
Or he's a vampire. But no, he's a human, and he is actually aging.
Yeah. When you see, it's kind of nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's funny when people say like he doesn't look like he ages, but when you see that Bill and Ted,
right,
when he's next to Alex Winter, you realize, they're not.
He's aging. He's just aging reasonably
gracefully.
Well.
Yes, he's not like there's worse ways to age.
Right. Well, it's funny because I saw on Instagram the other day, I saw a guy, he said, the Matrix is back, Matrix 4, and he posted a still, and it was Keanu Reeves kind of holding his hand up to the screen, and he just happened to be holding up 4 fingers, but I think it was like an old promo shot from one of the previous Matrixes, but it was a weird image of him holding up 4 fingers.
I mean, it's internet crap. Anyone can like.
Oh no, I think it was it just was a coincidence.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't think anybody was.
Like I said, I'm down for it. I'm just curious to see what the hell they're gonna do, how they're gonna do it, and it's so early. So let's just move on.
Yeah,
we'll come back to it when
there's a more pressing matter at hand.
Well, yeah.
Right?
I mean, I think they just announced it. Who the hell knows when anything's gonna happen? When the first trailers get hit, I bet you. Okay, we heard about it. We're not gonna hear anything for like another year.
No, especially something that.
I don't think anything is gonna come out. You're not gonna. 2021 the earliest.
Unless they go a completely different.
Unless
direction.
they were making it already the whole time and we didn't know that.
That doesn't make sense.
That happens.
Yeah.
They interviewed somebody that Breaking Bad movie.
Yeah, that's
supposedly it's done.
Right.
They haven't mentioned anything of it. Bob Odenkirk accidentally leaked that they already filmed it. They film things and people they can keep things a secret.
That's true.
So who the hell knows? Maybe they did film it already. I doubt it though.
Well, around the same time, there was distressing news from the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah, there's been a disturbance in the Spider-Verse.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so this one is really stupid.
It is.
This is the biggest boner ever. I know that I understand where both camps are coming from.
Sure.
Both camps are super rich, powerful corporations. And it's okay. They announced, and I knew this was going to happen after Far From Home came out. I knew it was going to happen. It was like I was just waiting for the day this to drop. Sony has pulled Spider-Man out of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Or it's kind of a weird.
Is that
thing.
a done deal?
Well, the thing is, the deal was, I guess, Marvel wanted Spider-Man in the MCU.
Yeah.
They wanted to add him into Civil War, and they wanted to do a bunch of movies. And Sony still owned the rights. They own the rights, but the thing was, Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out, and it was a piece of shit.
Yeah, it did not do well.
It made a bunch of money, but not enough. The movie cost so much money, the amount of promotion. They lost money on it. The thing is, I think they signed a deal in the early 2011 or something like that, where they basically lost merchandising rights to Disney. Or to Marvel.
Yeah,
Marvel. Yeah. And that right there was the huge chunk, because Spider-Man toys can sell without a movie.
Yeah.
And if the box office is the only thing you have, then
that's limited.
Yeah, you need that. Right. So Marvel worked out a deal where they basically gave Sony a gift. They said, listen, we want Spider-Man. If he stars in one of our movies, we give you a ton of money.
Right.
But if you make your movie, basically we just get 5% of the movie.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know, it's like kind of weird. I've heard different stories from different people. I don't know who produced those movies, but I think Marvel pretty much handled all the creative on Far From Home and from Homecoming.
Yeah.
And Sony basically made all the box office from it. And Disney or whatever, they were just happy to have him in there, happy to have him part of the universe. Happy to say that Spider-Man's part of the Marvel Universe.
Well, and they had begun to tailor the Marvel Universe to make Spider-Man kind of an intricate part of the universe.
They had him befriend Tony. He became a big part of... right from the get-go, once he's only in Civil War for like 20 minutes, but he's a key part of it. And then they have Iron Man show up in Homecoming.
Yeah.
And then you got him in Infinity War. He's probably the most important one of the most important characters in Infinity War. And in Endgame, he's like basically Tony's reason for why he's dead.
Yeah. He's the link between the Avengers Endgame and what is coming next.
Right.
That's
so Far From Home. So not just that, Far From Home comes out. Far From Home makes the deal supposedly with Sony and everything was that if Far From Home did not make $1 billion or something like that, which is insane. Didn't even think about that. But if it didn't make $1 billion, Spider-Man would go back to Sony.
Right.
Far From Home made over $1 billion, but then Disney supposedly got a little greedy. Even though
I've heard.
And they said we want 50%, and Sony's basically like, yeah, this is like the only good movie.
It's the only thing.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I mean, Men in Black failed.
Yep.
They couldn't do Men in Black. They tried doing Ghostbusters. They're going to do another Ghost. Let's see how that one works out. I bet you that's going to suck too.
Yeah.
They had some other stuff, and I can't even name it. The Into the Spider-Verse was great.
Oh yeah.
But it's like good. Stick with that.
It's a different animal,
and it's a different animal, and it's stylized, but it's like okay, yeah, it did well, but didn't I would say the hype of having it coming out with all these other Spider-Man movies, with the constant Marvel flow, people want more and more of it, and it was good, so it's a combination of a lot of things. It was not if they just released that on its own.
The wave.
Yeah, if that thing came out on its own with no Marvel movies around, it would have been okay. It would not have been fine. Yeah, it would not have made a dent. Animated films outside of Disney, it's very hard to have a hit. I know Minions is like one of those rare ones, and you got like Ice Age was big for a second.
Yeah, they pop up here and there.
Yeah, but a real to get an animated movie with heroes and everything is not easy.
Yeah,
and the fact that I just think it's part of the wave.
Right.
So this is a bad move on their part. I think the fans Venom. They released Venom.
Yeah,
Venom was a piece of shit. Did you see it?
No.
Well, how do you know it's terrible? You didn't see it. It's amazing.
No. You would.
I saw it in the theater and I tried watching it at home. It's a horrible movie.
You came down on it pretty hard. Everything I read about it came down on it pretty hard. I probably watched maybe 25 minutes of it on YouTube, like big extended
It's
clips.
not Venom. It's not Venom because they couldn't do the story. And the sneaky thing, and I was telling people about this, was that Sony tried to do the sneaky thing where they were like, well, Venom's part of the Marvel Universe. And Kevin Feige was like, no, he's not.
I've been reading about this today.
And I guarantee you the consumer, the average consumer, people who don't go on websites, watch YouTube videos, they just see Venom, they're like, I know what that is.
Yeah.
They went to see it thinking that Spider-Man was going to show up at some point and that it would be mention of other Marvel stuff. And watch that movie
absolutely.
and none of that was in there. Instead, it's this very
self-contained.
It's this very odd film. It felt like something from the 90s. I felt like
Spawn, didn't it?
Oh my god, exactly like Spawn with like some of the things he created with his, but not just like Spawn. It reminded me of like the first Daredevil movie. It just felt very small. Right. It's like what's great about Marvel was even from the get-go, from the first movie with Iron Man, even just the slight mentionings of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that, you felt like you were part of a bigger universe.
Well, that was even the tagline at the very end when Nick Fury comes and says...
But even before that, when they mentioned S.H.I.E.L.D., you knew this was a bigger universe. And Venom just doesn't feel like that. Venom just feels very small, and it felt very contained, and it made money, but I think on a fluke. Now, I know that people are, they saved Carnage for the next one. Who the hell knows? But Spider-Man being ripped out of the Marvel Universe is a very bad decision on their part. Just from a creative, like, what people like, what people are invested in. They don't
because
want
what kind of movie are they going to make?
Well,
they're not going to make the movie people want to see.
They can't. What are they going to do? They're going to be like, instead of Happy, he hangs out with a guy named Glad.
Yeah.
And it's played by a different guy. Like,
right. Well,
you look different. Like, like, did you see Far From Home?
No, I haven't seen Far From Home. We can't talk.
How are we doing this podcast?
No. It's just, look, it's...
All right, there's key elements, even in Far From Home. Like, I feel like the good thing I like about Far From Home, it was like a good tail end where they were trying to put him in his own... It was like still the attachments to the Marvel Universe with him starring again in his own universe. But you still need him to be part... What they could have done in the end was... Fine, you want to phase out Marvel a little, the Marvel plot line and give him his own universe. Fine, but you can't just sever him. He has to still be part of it. It's so dumb.
I think the tough part for me, just like, because and we've talked about this before, when I was a kid, Spider-Man was like the only comic I read routinely. Yeah. Like, I rarely missed an issue. I followed all 2 or 3 of the books that were coming out at the time. And his stories, like, I don't know, they seem to bounce back. I know that in some books it was like the local New York kind of underdog hero, and in others it was like the bigger grand scheme. But the way they've built Spider-Man in the Marvel Universe is he's already an Avenger, he's already kind of big, he's been to outer space.
Now he's like basically the second Tony Stark.
Right, yes, exactly.
In the new movie, they basically...
Well, I've seen those clips where he's basically mimicking...
He's given... The whole plot of the movie revolves around Tony Stark's storyline, that's brought into Spider-Man because it's part of a bigger Marvel universe. And I was like, I made the mistake of going on Twitter and getting into a Twitter fight with some morons over this. And some people, the way they saw it was they're like, good, we don't want Disney to have everything. And I'm like, but that's not the point. I'm not even looking at it from like, Disney's going to get it back at some point. That's the joke.
Yeah.
They're going to get it back. Sony's going to make some fucked up movie that no one's going to want to see. And in their contract, it says if you do not make a movie, it goes back to Marvel.
Right.
And
that's how you get that. Remember that Fantastic Four movie they made like 30 years ago?
Well, that was before this Marvel.
Yeah, but it was the same principle. Like
it was literally a burner film.
Yeah.
It was like...
Have you seen that movie?
That funny thing is, that's the best Fantastic Four movie.
It is.
It's actually the truest Fantastic Four movie.
Probably, yeah.
Like they get Doctor Doom right. The thing actually looks pretty decent. He looks better than those horrible Michael Chiklis ones.
Yeah.
The new one wasn't even... I don't even know what the hell that one was. That was a piece of shit.
Yeah, I didn't see the new one. I saw the first 2, I think.
Yeah, those are horrible.
Yeah, none of them were good.
And the new one tried to be something, but it was bad also. It was like body horror and like the guy
that sucks.
It was bad. Too bad. The thing looked pretty decent, but...
Well, it's tough because I think here's the thing that I think is that just like, I don't know, 15 minutes ago, or before you came over, I was on Twitter, and Sony had posted this big long tweet thread defending their decisions, right? And they missed the point. They were like, when we talked to this guy and blah blah blah, and they're going on, and it doesn't matter. People want to see a follow up to.
They like this
Yes.
Peter Parker.
Yes.
They're attached to him. They watched him turn to dust,
Right.
and people cried.
People got very sad.
No one
Yeah.
gave a fuck about Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
Right.
Those movies were crap.
Yeah.
That wasn't Spider-Man. That was like what people don't like. So somebody, like I said, this one guy I follow on Twitter, and he posted this thing where he's like, good, I'm glad. Not his words. He just
Sure.
basically like implied, good, I'm glad that like this megaopoly doesn't get to keep this character. And I'm like, but
Well, why?
that's
What does it
that's
matter?
not like, you clearly don't give a shit about the character.
Yeah.
See, people care about the character. They don't care who's making it. Actually, they want to know that Spider-Man is going to interact. He can meet up with the Hulk, and he can meet up
Right.
with Doctor Strange. All those relationships were established in Infinity
Well,
War
what
and Endgame, and they want to see that continue.
Yeah, I'm not here to like defend like a major corporation.
I'm not
or
even,
anything,
and I'm
but,
like, I know what they're
they've
saying.
been like reasonably good stewards of the Marvel property. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing. Like, people, like, they want to attack Disney. Disney, a good example is what Disney's done with Star Wars when it comes to, like, Rogue
Sure.
One and Solo.
Yeah.
Disney acted like the way Sony would treat a property.
right. Yeah,
But somehow with Marvel, I don't know what the deal was. I think when they bought Marvel, Marvel has more creative control.
yeah.
And they've had people that
Well-
are working with Marvel for years that understand.
And there's stories that predate. Nobody's got to come up with a new story. There's plenty of stories.
There's stories
to
they
go
can
around.
mine from.
Yeah.
There's like thousands of stories that go back to the 60s and even
Yep.
the 40s that they can pull from. They don't. It's like, and it keeps making money. Each movie makes
Yeah,
almost
is there
more
any-
than the next movie. So Disney's kind of like laissez-faire. They're like, yeah, you keep doing what you're doing. Now, once a
Right.
bomb happens, you'll start
Yeah,
seeing
but like,
them. But,
look, aside from like Thor 2,
but that's like already 6
Yeah.
years ago. So who cares?
But like, does anybody have any serious complaints about how Disney?
I know some people will say like Ant-Man stinks, but it's Ant-Man. Who
I
cares?
love Ant-Man.
Yeah, but the fact that Ant-Man even exists is funny
Yeah.
on its own, and
Well-
the fact that even an Ant-Man movie made $600 million.
Yeah, I liked both Ant-Man.
they're
movies.
entertaining movies.
Yes, they're really fun. That's actually
So
probably
the way I'm looking at it, like, yes, I get it. Disney's evil. They're a giant
Sure.
corporation. They control everything. I don't like that they own Fox. I get that.
yeah.
But I'm just talking about from a creative. And then this guy was trying to say that like a corporation shouldn't decide art and all this, and like they'll like the fact that Disney has this strict like if a movie like each movie has to make $1 billion. Or they're not going to make a movie again. I don't know, something like that.
Sure.
And I'm like, listen, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But if you look at Marvel, that is, and you look at what they did, that is a product where it was like, okay, that clearly the corporate heads did not, they let the wizards do the work.
Yeah.
And because when you see Amazing Spider-Man, those movies, the shitty ones,
Right, with Garfield.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those are that is like committee made
by
films,
committee.
literally almost made with a bot.
Yeah.
Like, somebody made a movie with a bot.
I'm just getting a mental picture of Garfield.
Oh,
like the cat
yeah,
as Spider-Man.
yeah, that was great. He fought normal.
That would be.
I would love, yeah, Andrew
Yeah.
Garfield. Yeah.
Right.
He was like Garfield, Spider-Man, and he was sitting there eating lasagna. Yeah, that's why this movie's
Right.
really good. It was a cat.
Yeah.
not a spider.
They're taking down the Brooklyn Bridge again. I hate Mondays.
I hate Mondays. Yeah, he kept on saying that. That was like, that's not his catchphrase.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I get it, and I know
Sure.
people want to get Disney. They want to get it. It's like, okay, well, guess what? They own Marvel.
Yeah.
And Sony is another bad deal that Marvel made back in the day to survive as a company.
Right. It was a choice they had to make.
It was a choice they had to make, and movies were not a thing yet. The
Yeah.
first two Spider-Man movies are great.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had
yeah.
Sam Raimi make
Right.
them.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
and then they got then the Sony execs got more involved with 3, and 3 shows it.
Yeah.
Because Sam Raimi was a Steve Ditko Spider-Man
Old
era,
school,
old
yeah.
school, and they wanted to shove Venom in there.
Yeah, well, and Raimi had, like... Did you ever see Darkman?
Yes, I never liked that movie.
It was not great, but it had, like...
there's elements in it that...
You can see parts of Spider-Man in Darkman. Yeah,
Darkman's a weird film that's, like, a collection of Evil Dead, Spider-Man. It's a very strange film.
It's almost like a Batman Spider-Man hybrid.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's a disgusting character, too.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, Liam Neeson.
It's Darkman.
Very strange film.
It is.
It's an odd bird.
Right.
Yeah, when they bring him back? No, yeah, right. Like someone made a joke and said, because in the movie, in the new Spider-Man movie, he wears this black costume, and people were calling him Night Monkey. So people were making jokes and saying, "Well, could Disney just make a Night Monkey movie instead and just have Tom Holland in it? And it's just Night Monkey, and he is Spider-Man, and he does all the Spider-Man things." But
you're gonna call him Man Spider.
But he's not. Yeah, with Danny DeVito from Always Sunny.
Yeah.
I'm a Man Spider.
I don't know. I think the big takeaway for me is that, look, I agree with a lot of the gripes against both of these companies. They're both kind of these soulless corporations. But, man, Disney's done right by Marvel. They're making the movies I want to see.
They made a product that people like. Yeah. And who gives a shit? I'm sorry, but if the consumer it likes something and you take it away, they're not going to see. Like, if they see a new Spider-Man movie, which Tom Holland will be in.
Yeah. Is he contractually
Yeah, he's in it for 2 more movies. He'll be in those movies with like the rest of the cast, but it's going to be this neutered film. It's going to feel like, and then Sony's going to get greedy again, and they're going to be like you remember that slate of movies they want to make? Well, they have a Mobius film coming out. Oh, Morbius, the living vampire
from
Jared Leto.
Oh, okay. No, Morbius. I have not heard this.
It's an old Spider-Man villain.
Okay,
and they think that it's like. They think that they got lightning in a bottle again, and this movie's going to do well. Yeah. It's like no one outside of Marvel Comics, some people know him from the cartoon, some people know him from the comic. No one knows what the fuck Morbius is. Yeah. Everyone knew who Venom was, and Venom's cool looking. Venom's a cool looking design. Right. It's a big monster with sharp teeth and a giant tongue with big white eyes, and he kind of already looks like Spider-Man. Right. So because he was supposed to be the evil version of Spider-Man.
Yeah, he was like
the twisted, the cracked mirror.
Right. Yeah.
So it made no sense for him being a movie by himself. It made zero sense, and they couldn't put the white spider on his chest because it would make no sense.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
So Morbius is coming out. That's already supposedly being filmed.
And that's a Sony property.
Sony property using Marvel. They want to make Silver and Black.
I have no idea what that is.
No one would. And they canceled it supposedly like a year ago. But there was going to be Silver Sable and the Black Cat.
Oh, okay.
These are Spider-Man.
Yeah, Black Cat's reasonably popular.
No one knows who the fuck Silver Sable is. Again, I know who these are. But I could separate my nerdy comic books where they make like $50,000 a month.
Black Cat's
Black Cat's, but she's even then that people could be like, "Is that Catwoman?
Yeah, yeah.
What is that? Right, is that what was this Black Cat?
Right. Is
that Halle Berry?
Jeez.
Is that that Michelle Pfeiffer lady with the whip and no one's gonna know what the fuck that is. Right. So Sony and like they were just reaching. It's like. They were like going, and I remember they were announcing all these movies, like all these tertiary Spider-Man characters. Yeah. That they'll make okay characters. Like you couldn't even, if you told people like, in this Spider-Man film, he's going against Morbius.
Right.
The average consumer would be like, I don't care.
Yeah. Who is that?
Like it's not a top tier. Like this is like, all right, we need to stop making Spider-Man movies. Or you know what? I wouldn't mind him fighting Doc Ock again.
Right, that's sad.
Can we just bring the Vulture back and maybe Morbius is like in it, but he's fighting the Vulture?
Yeah, I mean,
again, it's like I get it that like people, they want to stick to Disney, but again, this isn't like some art house company. It's fucking Sony. Yeah, they're massive. Someone put this meme out with Rocket Raccoon and the Winter Soldier guy.
Okay,
Bucky, where he's like, "I want your arm." And he's I'm going to get that arm. But the joke was, he's like, "Let me have Spider-Man." No, we're going to keep it. And then the next is Rocket going, I'm going to buy your company.
Yeah, right?
Even though I'm curious to see, I'm like, could Disney buy Sony? I don't think they can. Sony's massive.
Well,
Sony as a...
Yeah.
Now maybe they could buy their entertainment industry, which I hope they don't do that.
Right. Yeah, I don't... To be perfectly fair,
I don't want them doing that. I would just love that. Why don't they just give Sony $7 billion for Spider-Man and all its assets? Just give them the money.
Yeah.
And sever them. Let them make video games. Do a license deal. They can make Spider-Man video games.
Right, yeah. Those are pretty good.
Because if those movies... I don't know. I'm not a business guy. But like if the movie makes $1 billion... Just give them $5 billion and be like, look, this is these are 5 Spider-Man movies you don't have. We'll let you... You know what? We'll even let you keep the cartoons.
Yeah.
We'll let you keep making the Spider-Verse. Give us the live action.
Yeah, it's in everyone's best interest.
Go away.
Yeah.
And you don't have to deal with this shit. You'll still get the video games. You'll still get the cartoon. Just give us the live action here. Here's $5 billion. Disney's not going to do that. This is why I don't run a corporation.
Right, yeah.
They'd be like, what are you, a moron? We just steal it from them. We just bleed them dry until they're going to... I mean, the joke is, like, they're going to come back to Disney.
Well, that's the thing.
We saw this happen.
It sounded a lot more clever in my head than it came out on paper. But I was basically saying, like, Sony's killing the goose that laid the golden egg. Yeah. And I made like a Flurkin joke in there. But basically it was like, I know what they're thinking. It's like Spider-Man's hot right now. We're going to make a bunch of money off it. But they're not. They're going to kill the property just to...
And again, why was this Spider-Man movie, why did it do so well?
Yeah.
Came out just a couple months after
it's a bridge
Endgame.
From the
wanted
phase to a new phase.
They wanted to see any continuation from the insane movie of Endgame.
Yeah, they don't want it to end.
They wanted to see, though, but where the universe was, where Spider-Man is. They were hoping to see other things. And then if you didn't see Spider-Man, do you know about the ending with the cutscenes?
Yes, yeah.
With the scrolls and the...
Yeah, and it wasn't really Nick
everything with J. Jonah Jameson in the end, too.
Yeah, they revealed his...
Yeah, like, those were great endings. And some people like those scenes more than the actual movies, actually.
Yeah.
But to, like, sever him from... It's just... We could go on.
Right.
We'll see what happens. I bet you the story's going to change. The joke is, by the time we put this out next week... this whole thing might not even be... they might have been like... Sony might have buckled or worked out a deal.
Well, that's what I did hear today, is that perhaps... this is kind of like a game of poker right now, and we're in the bluffing stage.
I just think that, like, then people are like, Disney's doing what they do best, which is, like, get people on social media upset and, like, to work in Disney's favor. Well, unfortunately, this is working in Disney's favor.
Oh, yeah.
Because Sony is taking something away that people like. Even though they may own it, they are taking... let's see, the movie came out in 2016. But that's 5. Spider-Man's already been in 5 Marvel movies. 5 movies.
Yeah.
That's more than Han Solo was in Star Wars.
Well, he's like deep.
I guess Solo.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying, though? Like, that's 5 fucking movies right there. Yeah. That's 5.
And they're big ones.
And they're all big. Civil War was massive. And then the 2 Spider-Man movies. Yep. And then you have Endgame and you have freaking Infinity War, which are the 2 biggest movies pretty much ever made.
Right.
Outside of even Marvel. So, like, people are, like, heavily invested in this. Kids grew up with this. And I know, again, we're looking at it. I know some people, they want to stick it to Disney, but, like, I think...
like cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, oh, okay, you stuck it to Disney. Here's a crappy movie. Congratulations.
Yeah. And then no one will see. And those people, the joke is, those people who are like, they're not even going to see it.
No.
They'd be like, I don't even like Spider-Man.
Right.
Like, fuck you, go away. Like, no, but I mean, like, that's the joke. Like, the people I saw who were like, they don't even care about the Marvel Universe. They don't care about any of that. So, okay, well, you think you're better than that, so thanks for your opinion, fuck off. Like, let people like me and everyone, and the billions of people that love this movies worldwide, enjoy it. Yeah. They want to own Disney. And they're like, good. It's like, let's get them. And it's like, I like Spider-Man. No, like, it's not Disney. It's the creative people who make Spider-Man what it is why I like Spider-Man. It's like, I didn't like the Amazing. Yes. That's why I didn't see them in the theater and hated them when I watched them. but I've been watching also these videos on YouTube of because sometimes it's like I just want to see some videos. I'm in the background and it's just a guy talking at the time, and like I said, it's like the same people that like freaked out when like Trump said games caused the murders or something.
Right. Yes.
And they were like, a lot of these dudes are usually right wing. They always they always talk about like how they're the original fans of things, and Disney and an SJW agenda. Sure. And they said that Spider-Man was being removed from Marvel, and there's like several different. I'm not even going to name them because I don't want to promote these people.
Yeah.
And like they always have like it's really hard to tell. It's not like any of them are like MAGA nerd or something. Like no, I wish it did. I wish it just said MAGA nerd. I'm like okay, I don't need to watch that.
Right.
Or like Ben Shapiro's Pixel Hour. Like
yeah.
Even though I highly recommend you watch his reviews of Star Wars, is
really
hysterical. Yeah, it's really funny. His reviews are like, and they're not in like that Ben is funny. It's more like, my God, this guy sucks. He goes on like this tangent about how like they're ruining his childhood or something.
Yeah.
My childhood, my nostalgia. Yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, you suck. But like all these people were saying like, well, Sony's taking away Spider-Man from Disney because Kevin Feige's SJW agenda. They can't have Spider-Man because he's a white cis male, and they're trying to push all kinds of different people. And I'm like, no, I don't think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
This has to do with money. I don't think, Sony's not like, did you see what that libtard, Kevin Feige, did you see what he announced? They were going to do a bunch of movies with girls and gay people, those SJWs. No, that's not what happened. And
although
please
the
do
new
not
Sony
watch.
property is called Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So there may be a little something there.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man goes on like, gee, biological studies showed that it's just science. It's
as it turns out, it was a female spider.
He goes into he's a phrenologist. He goes into phrenology. Spider-Man
measures people's heads. And
stuff. Hold on, let me see, Electro. Your head. It's like, ooh, I don't like this direction that Spider-Man's going in. But like, megapixel, whatever, be like, take that. SJWs, Sony, Spider-Man gets it. I don't know. You just got to be careful with these videos. Yeah. And the problem is, if you watch like one, YouTube starts recommending. Oh, you liked MAGA Chud 36? Well, here's him like
MAGA Chuds 1 through 35.
Dark Thor. Odin's like all these like Nazi anything that's called Odin something. Go away from it. It's not the lovable Odin from the Thor movies. No. It's So
I love Norse mythology as much as the next guy. However,
you don't have an unhealthy.
I'm not a Nazi.
And if you see a show and the guy in the icon is wearing a helmet with
the horns and stuff.
No, not that one. It's another one. It's like a lot of the alt-right people love. It's the Crusades.
Oh yeah.
That's a big
Crusaders,
one. Yeah. Run away from that.
That's
because they're definitely going to be all about attacking SJWs and. So that's it.
Well, we should shift gears to much more.
A movie that everyone loves. That is outright the best film ever made.
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones, starring. Yeah, that was a good. I'm gonna get another beer.
Yeah,
here, why don't you tell us about the movie Attack of the Clones?
Well, Attack of the Clones. Jeez, Attack of the Clones.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a great. That's like a really good point. Like if you were to try to explain to someone before we started recording, my wife was like, she was like, "What movie are you doing tonight?" I said, "Attack of the Clones," and she said, "Which one was that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's the one." And what do you say? Like, it's a tough one to kind of summarize.
Well, it's the one that has got the Yoda and the Yoda man.
Well, there's an old man.
It's
got the marriage scene between Anakin and Padme, right?
Spoilers, guys.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
We're going to spoil this movie.
20-year-old movie.
Yeah, the movie's almost 20. Well, it's over 15 years old.
It's got young, sprightly Yoda.
Young.
Right?
Yeah, a ripe 880 years old Yoda.
Yep. It's got cutting edge CGI.
Like ass-picking diner chef.
It's got Mace Windu and a purple lightsaber.
It's like the one thing I love about Mace Windu was when they announced that Samuel Jackson was going to be in Star Wars.
Right.
Now, I didn't expect him to be like Samuel Jackson from
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction or from
Jules from Pulp Fiction.
Or the guy who sticks up the place in Coming to America.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, geez,
I wasn't expecting him to be like this crazy.
No.
Like, he's going to be but my God, he was so... Anyone could have played that role.
Yeah.
It's like you got Samuel Jackson to be in this movie.
Right.
And he didn't have to be in it.
Yeah.
And the movie could have came out and he didn't have to be in it, and you could have just had someone else and it wouldn't matter. But if someone says, hey, you got to get Samuel Jackson in it.
Yeah.
It's like when you see Jurassic Park and he's in it,
right.
You know he's in it. He feels like Samuel Jackson. I mean, he's like smoking a cigarette. He's only in it for like a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
But it's like he leaves a mark.
Right. And
he leaves no mark. I could care less about Mace Windu because Mace Windu has no personality.
No.
He's kind of dumb.
He's not.
All the Jedis are dumb in this movie. All of them. Like,
that's a big...
Except for Obi-Wan. Yeah. Even Yoda's like, who's supposed to be wise, like, oh, there's things I cannot... Clouded are these visions I'm having.
Mace Windu's like big line, I think, was Count Dooku used to be a Jedi. It's not in his nature to be evil or something like that. It's like, and like just saying that, you're like, well, why is he no longer a Jedi? Like
some of the worst dialogue is in this movie. Now I know again these movies are easy to rip apart.
Yeah,
and they have been ripped apart by
but
much better,
by very clever
critics,
people.
And like. I'm going to look at these movies more as like a fan.
Yeah.
Like we're fans of these movies, and we're the audience, and we wanted to see this movie.
I desperately wanted to see
We wanted to see. And I can't even like get the words. I might have to like edit this. Let me see if I could like put this together. So episode 1 comes out,
right,
and it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
You got like, and it ends up almost being kind of pointless. You're watching, you're like, what's the point? Because when they announced Attack of the Clones, and I think even before Attack of the Clones came out, they said that Episode 1 was going to take place 32 years before Episode 4. Star Wars: A New Hope.
Right.
The first Star Wars movie.
Sure.
And Episode 2 was going to take place 10 years later.
Yeah.
And then like Episode 3 was going to be like a couple years after that.
Right.
So you're introduced to Anakin as a child,
and
then you have to reintroduce everyone to a older, like almost adult Anakin.
It's a different
He's
actor.
like a late teen Anakin.
Right.
Early 20. I guess he's like late teen. He's like 19 years old, I would say.
Right.
19 or 20 years old. Can't even fucking drink yet.
Yeah, well, you go, and that's like, I know it's a minor thing, but you go from Jake Lloyd to Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
It didn't make any... I didn't understand what the point was.
Why have a 1?
Why do... 1? Yeah, well, I mean, why do it 10 years apart? Why not just do... And it's like, okay, you want Anakin to be the slave. And I always thought that was a great idea, actually. Sure. I didn't mind that. But instead of him being this... But what was he as a slave? Again, we talk about this, like... He had a house.
Yeah.
He was making a robot. He had a pod in the back.
Right.
Watto was the worst slave master in the world. He was just like, whatever. I just do.
Right. And then he let the kid pod race.
Yeah, he's like, you go pod race.
It was actually kind of a sweet gig. I mean, like...
Yeah, and he's like, I don't want to do that, Watto. And he's like, go back to the nice house that I gave you. Like, it was like in a beehive or something. He was like a hummingbird or some shit. I don't know. It was like so bizarre. He was not a slave. When you say character's gonna be a slave, I was like, I thought he was gonna be like hardened, beaten. I was expecting Conan.
Yeah,
I went into that thinking, you remember Conan, the first movie, where he is a slave.
Yes,
now I'm not expecting that violence. Yeah, Anakin's like, what's best in life?
Right.
That line. What's that line from Conan?
Like the blood of my enemies, the wailing of my enemies.
Yeah, rape, pillaging of the women or something. Like, Anakin says that. Like, No, but like
quick,
you,
kid.
it made sense. Like, okay, I get it. This can lead to like he's damaged.
Right.
He's damaged. He's gonna end up. This makes sense. He's already on the path of like it's gonna be very hard for him to like go on a good path.
Get well. Yeah.
He could be corrupted very easily. And instead they just gave this like they made it very kiddie, and then they jumped 10 years. He's been a Jedi for 10 years, and when you meet him though. He's like, the kid had like, there's one scene in episode 1 that they cut out.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever seen any of the cutscenes.
I've seen, I don't know if I've seen
He gets it,
one,
it's after the pod race. He starts beating the shit out of a Rhodian.
Ooh.
It's revealed.
Yeah, a young Greedo.
Yeah.
I have seen this, yeah.
It's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
And like the other one, the other Greedo, which was clearly being played by Warwick Davis.
Oh, okay,
His like little friend was like,
right,
"Oh, hey, honey!" Like it was like you look like Wicket, but with a Greedo mask on. He like that's so funny. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, like he's beating the shit out of Greedo.
Right.
And it was like, why would you cut that scene? I mean, it's just not done well.
Yeah.
None of it was done well. But why would you? This shows that Anakin has a temper.
Yeah.
He has no temper
Maybe
in
it shouldn't have
episode
been
1.
Greedo because
Well,
more than 12
they could have just
people
cut
in the
that line
universe.
out, but they should have him beat the shit out of somebody.
Yeah.
And then like Qui-Gon pulls him away.
Right,
And
because
it'd
that
be
would
like,
telegraph.
Like,
yeah.
okay, this is a tell. This kid's got a temper. We have to be careful with him.
Right.
And you cut that out of the movie. He's just this lovable kid, and the whole time, and he's like, now this is pod racing. Wizards! And like, and he's like, gee, Mr. Qui-Gon, what's a midichlorian? Like, there's no, like, there's no sign of him having a temper or anything.
There's nothing they did in the Phantom Menace that they couldn't have done in like a 10-minute montage.
Yeah.
In Attack of the Clones. You know what I mean?
They could have merged 1 and 2 together.
Yes, easily.
And they could have had them fight Darth Maul in the end of 2.
Right.
And it would have combined. They could have combined 1 and 2 very easily together.
Yeah, or just left out 1.
Or
frankly. I mean,
or you, like I said, you leave 1 in, but you have the same actor play him. So you're introduced to Anakin, and he's like 15,
right?
And he is a slave, and he's not living in a house with his mom.
Yeah.
His mom's maybe abused too. You know, you try to do it as best as possible. The problem is they're trying to make a kids film.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. You tell the audience Anakin's a slave, and then you see it, and you're like, oh wait, I'm watching like a PG. I'm really watching like a PG, almost G movie here.
Yeah.
And people were going and thinking it was going to be like PG-13.
Right.
And Attack of the Clones comes out, and now Anakin's a prick in that movie.
He's just so whiny.
He's a little douchebag.
Yeah, he is.
He doesn't
He's
listen
like
to Obi-Wan.
Joffrey from Game of Thrones.
He kind of is.
Yeah.
He's stuck up. He doesn't listen to Obi-Wan. He's obnoxious.
Yeah.
He's
just
he's
like
abrasive, and he's like kind of stalkery with Padme in the movie.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, look, a lot of that is true life of teens, like early teens. I mean, that's a tough age. I'm not knocking teens because I was the same way when I was a teen.
You were a powerful Jedi?
No, but you know, like you get a little self-absorbed and you get kind of like dramatic and angsty and stuff. But it's like super exaggerated.
To introduce a character and to say when you're watching the original movies and Obi-Wan's like, oh, he was a great man.
Right.
He was this great person. He would do anything for anyone. And in episode 2, he's just like a fucking prick.
Oh, yeah.
To the whole movie. Like, he literally doesn't listen to anyone. He doesn't follow any rules.
There are no likable people in the movie.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah, even he's like...
But he's the best one.
He's clearly by and far the best one.
But here's the thing. Yeah. It's because he already existed already. The best characters in the prequels are the ones that exist.
Yeah.
Yoda.
Yep. Yeah.
Because everyone loves Yoda.
Sure.
And he's not... And you don't use him a lot. So when you use him, it's like...
He's used sparingly, yeah.
Yeah. He's in it more than he is in the first one. The first one, he's a hideous puppet that was like...
What did you think of, like, action Yoda? Like, the bouncing around Yoda?
I liked it when I first saw it because it was like a shock.
Yes.
I didn't... And I wish they saved that for the movie, but they didn't. They released that before the movie came out, that was going to happen.
Right.
Or I heard rumors that it leaked. And I wish they didn't show any of that until the movie came out.
I remember not being surprised, and when I saw it in the theaters, I kind of like cheered, you know, like
it's awesome, but it goes against what the character is supposed to be.
Yeah,
Yoda was supposed to be the man on the mountain. He was
right.
supposed to be this. He's like the everything that you thought you knew about the Force is not.
Right. Yes, it's a frail little guy.
He's a little tiny goblin man who lives in the woods or in the swamp in a bog.
Yeah.
on a log, as Weird Al said in the song Yoda, and he's like Zen. He's like he's like.
Well, that's the joke. Is like Luke is like, I was sent to find the most powerful Jedi Master in the galaxy, and
great warrior.
Right, and here's this little.
And then Yoda says, "Wars do not make one great." But then you see Yoda as a general and telling fucking clones, "Go here, blow that up." Blow that up.
It was kind of weird. I
mean, I guess it's like, I mean, that makes sense. Though you could see like an old general saying like, "Hey, don't believe the hype. War's not that great."
Well,
or something.
I remember when I first saw. We talked about this before when we talked about the first Star Wars movie. Part of it that was so great was that they would drop these little lines, and you can imagine these big things. And one of the most intriguing lines came when Luke was talking to Ben Kenobi, and Ben talked about the Clone Wars, and people are like, "Do you mean General Kenobi?" You know, like you get the idea, like. Ben's seen some shit. You know, like back in the day, Ben was like...
He's done some shit.
Exactly.
Seen some shit.
Right. And he's like, there are things about me that you couldn't understand. What did Pee-wee say?
I don't know. I know.
Things, Dottie,
big
right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm a loner, Dottie. A rebel. But you get that impression about Kenobi, and that was like so... And then, so finally, like back in the day, episode 2, this is it.
That's the other thing too about episode 1, is he's not in episode 1. It's like Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
You don't have him in a big key part of the movie.
No, he's like...
It's like... You don't bring... He stays on the ship.
Right.
When they get Anakin. When in reality, he should have been the one that went and got Anakin. He's the one that does all the stuff. And Qui-Gon stays on the ship.
Right.
And Anakin... And that's how they bond at a young age.
Yeah.
And... that it makes it even more tragic that it's more Obi-Wan's fault instead of like his fucking deadbeat boss fucking up and leaving him with a burden, like it's Obi-Wan makes it more tragic. If Obi-Wan got off the ship and he's the one that goes finds that, because he's the best part of he is the best part of episode 1 also.
Oh yeah.
Ewan McGregor does an amazing job. He gets the best lines, but again, I think it's because it was easier to write that character because he already exists. The audience already knows what to expect from him. If you just say a couple of similar lines, it's there.
And you have a lot of goodwill, presumably, built up for Obi-Wan because of how you saw Obi-Wan in the
just
Star Wars
for the short amount of time he's in Star Wars.
He's and Alec Guinness is like a great actor, and he had a lot of gravitas and
what he delivers to the role and like his tone and how he comes off. And the lore, and like you said, the Clone Wars, and like there's history behind them, and the problem with the prequels is like every character that did not exist in the old movies suck because it's like Padme, she's this lady who was a queen and she was a senator, and
I never understood that. Like, was she? She was a queen on her planet.
So, like, the planet elects queens, and they get little kids. Like, they get, like, 14-year-olds. And I guess it is called a queen, but it's almost like a president.
Yeah, it's like a prime minister.
She has a term, and then she moves on and becomes a senator.
Yeah.
And there's a new queen in the second one, when she goes back to Naboo.
And in one scene, like... And to be fair, I saw the movie in the theater way back in the day, and I've seen it several times since. And I watched it over the last couple days.
Yeah.
And it's probably this is probably the second least watched Star Wars for me.
Okay. I've seen it a bunch of times.
I've probably seen it like 6 or 7 times total, which is...
I guess for Star Wars it's not a lot, right?
It's not a lot, for me.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the original Star Wars when it came out in like 77. I saw that in the theater a minimum of like 20 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my parents would give me like $2. I'd go down to the movie theater.
Right.
I'd sometimes stay for 2 or 3 showings of it. You know what I mean? Like, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a different era. No TV.
It wasn't on VHS, DVD.
Right.
This was the only way to see it.
So... Jar Jar was briefly a senator, and you can just become a senator.
So Jar Jar is like one of the first things they do is he's introduced in episode 1 as a prominent character. Everyone hated him.
Sure.
So they're like, fuck, what do we do? They're like, well, he's basically in the movie for like 5 minutes.
Right.
He's like completely cut down, and in episode 3, he's not in it at all.
Yeah.
He's in background, he's in one scene.
Yeah.
He's in the funeral scene. That's
it's,
it.
It's like
he has no lines.
Cameo.
He is completely removed, which is fucked up because it made no sense. Because it was like, even though he's in the movie for 5 minutes in episode 2, he still does something very important.
He's the
one that grants the powers to the emergency powers to Palpatine to basically become a dictator.
Yes, exactly.
I love democracy.
Well, it's true. He's like, and I remember there being like conspiracy theories, like theories
that he was a Sith.
That he was a Sith because of like the way
he shows up in episode 1. He's like almost kind of waiting for them.
Right.
Oh, Misa.
Yeah, I'm just like, right. No.
I will kill them, my master. Oh, Misa Boom Boom, me pants.
He was basically Kaiser Soze from like the
kind of. Well, that's what people want to think.
Right. I don't
when in
believe
reality,
that.
he's just a doofus.
Yes.
He was a easy.
He was a mark.
Why would they make him a senator? But then again, you could say like, what's that guy? Gomer, William Gomer. What's that congressman?
Yeah.
I guess if he can be a congressman, I guess Jar Jar can be in the Senate.
If Devin Nunes,
Devin Nunes can be in it. If what's his face, the former governor of Texas?
Rick Perry.
Rick Perry. Yeah, sure. Jar Jar could be senator.
I guess that all makes sense.
It all makes sense.
However, like, I was watching it just the last few days.
Dan Quayle.
Well, and
George W. Bush.
And they talk about, like, Jar Jar as a senator, and I was like, I remember that. Yeah. But then at the same time, I was like, what the fuck? Like, who made him?
Well, he was like a war hero in episode 1.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though he fucks up a bunch of things.
Right.
He's like, and he bounces the ball, and then he ends up...
It's like literally stepping in shit.
Yeah, literally comes his way to the war. Through that battle.
Right, yeah.
And I guess they wanted to... even before that battle, Boss Nass makes him like a general.
Yeah, you're right.
Which was like... What?
Yeah,
is Boss Nass like fucking with them?
That seriously short man.
You wanted to execute him for being Gomer Pyle. Like, he was, like, being kicked out.
Yeah.
Because he was a complete jackass.
You were going to iceberg him, basically, right when they, like, launch a person out into an ice floe or something. Yeah.
And, like, you Sabisa, Boomba General. Oh, no. And then, like, the next scene goes... And yeah, so he's not in the movie, but like the biggest thing in this movie.
Okay.
There's a couple of things in episode 2.
Episode 2.
One, when the titles get released, like a couple months before the movie came out. This movie's called Attack of the Clones. People were like, "Whoa!"
Yes.
There's like, this is the Clone War, and then images of the clones started leaking online. One of my favorite things was there was all these costumes being sold.
Okay.
And on eBay, and like Lucasfilm had to come out and say, "Listen, these are fakes," because all the clones in the movie were CGI. There were no live action clones in that movie. The film.
Well, there were like three people played the clones, right?
There's like one guy. It's
because there's the kid versions. Remember, there's a bunch of kid versions of it.
So you're introduced to a young Boba Fett.
Yes.
Who's a clone? Who's a perfect clone of Jango Fett.
Right.
You're introduced to Jango Fett, or as I call him, Blue Boba Fett.
Yes.
Hey, you like Boba Fett? Yeah, that'd be great. Well, how about Blue Boba Fett?
Yeah. Less great.
His name's Jango Boba Fett.
Right. Cool. Yeah.
He has a rocket pack and he uses it. Oh.
Yeah.
And he's got a trusty sidekick, 10-year-old sidekick. And his name's Boba Fett.
Yeah. It was that was such a squandered. Not since the previous film and Darth Maul was a character so squandered.
That is the biggest waste. That's a character that should have been throughout the whole trilogy.
Darth Maul?
Yes, he should have at least through 2.
He should have been through 2. Yeah.
I don't mind Count Dooku as a character. You could have still had Count Dooku and Darth Maul exist at the same time.
Name him Dooku.
Because that's like shit.
Yeah,
Count Dookie.
I mean, did that never strike you as weird? Dooku, like
Doo-doo.
Really? Like,
I mean, the Mad Magazine, when they wrote it, they were like, "You're making this too easy for us." Count doo-doo. Like, we can't even do this. This is like, this is too, like, this is, what do we do here?
Right. It's like the Mon Calamari. You know, it's like, okay, well, no, they're just Mon Calamari.
Fried, delicious. Some squeeze of lemon, some marinara.
Right.
It's a trap.
So
in your mouth.
It's a trap in your mouth. And everyone's invited. Geez. Yeah, Dooku, I didn't mind him as a character. Christopher Lee's very charismatic.
But he doesn't show up till like the last 15 minutes of the movie.
Here's what
the main villain
is
not in the movie until like... I'm like watching and I forgot. Because I've seen this movie a lot, but it was a good couple of years that I actually really watched it. Especially when I said, like, let's watch it. So I'm like, I really want to watch this. And I took some notes.
Oh, yeah.
That I was texting you. I was watching, kind of laughing. And...
Look, as you're consulting your notes, I'll say, look, I liked Christopher Lee. I liked him because he was a throwback to the old serials, kind of that Flash, Gordon, Buck Rogers, and that's a lot of what Star Wars is, kind of that broadly drawn space opera type of stuff.
Oh, I guess the only thing I really hit you up on the notes was NSYNC and Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
That rumor that went around.
Right.
They were... And then they said that they shot. They actually were in the movie.
But did it make it to...
I think one of them hands off a lightsaber when the Jedi show up to save the day.
It's funny. I was thinking about this.
Mace Windu shows up.
Yeah. And one of them is like in the crowd. And
someone hands him a lightsaber. Yeah. It's one of the fucking NSYNC people. Which is like... I just remember all the Star Wars and everybody's like, fuck these guys, no way.
I was one of those people saying, fuck these guys.
And, I was too. I don't want that in the Star Wars. It's like that. It's like a stain. It's
I get it. Like,
why don't you have it's so dated. It's like it's
dated.
Like if you had Tiny Tim show up in the first Star Wars movie with his little what is that thing he plays, the
ukulele?
Yeah. Like, I mean.
And you had to know NSYNC was a product of it. So they weren't going to have lasting. Look, if you made Bob Dylan a Jedi or something, people would be like, okay, maybe.
No, that's bad too.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Tom Waits as a Jedi.
Ed Sheeran showing up in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that was... I hate anything...
It takes you out of the movie. It's like...
That's exactly what I was going to say. You willingly suspend your disbelief for 2 or 3 hours.
Unless that person that's in the movie... Like, Tom Waits actually wouldn't be that bad because he was in movies.
Yeah, he was an actor.
I've seen him in other movies.
He was in...
I forget that he was even in a musician.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that until years later. Okay. I thought he was an actor.
No.
It's like Chris Christopherson.
Right.
He's like... I didn't realize he was like a famous musician.
Right.
But I always thought he was just an actor.
Yeah, that's funny. You're right.
That wouldn't take me out. But if Mick Jagger was in it, I'd be like... But he was in some movies too. Yeah.
Well, anyway, you're right because Tom Waits was an actor. But yeah, I didn't like it. I mean, I guess ultimately it didn't really matter. Like, look, that's not the problem with Attack of the Clones.
No, that's not. That's just like so. Okay, so the big issue with this movie was, and like I said, the 10-year jump from 1 to 2 is like, okay, now you got to cast Anakin, and honestly, this is where you're really casting Anakin.
Yes.
Because the first one's just a little kid, and you're like, I guess he turns into Darth Vader at some point, but he's just a little kid, and he's happy to be in the movie, and he's lovable, and the whole time you forget this, you're rooting for
a genocidal maniac.
You're rooting for baby Hitler,
baby. Right, because he's like a planet killer. I mean, he destroy. I mean,
he's a genocide. He's a warlord. I mean, he's
you don't want to diminish it by comparing it to real life events, but
that's what the character does.
That's what the character did. He killed a planet,
and that's one act. That's not talking about everything else he's done.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And all the other bad things he does, and if you're a big Star Wars fan and you read other adventures,
right? Yeah.
He's a murderer.
Yeah.
He's an evil Jedi, and then if you watch Episode 3, you find out even more. So it makes him even more evil.
Yeah.
So this is like a big deal because it's like, okay, we're casting. This guy is gonna have to become the guy who becomes Darth Vader.
Right.
And I will say the difference between 1 and 2 and 3. I think he does a good job in 3 with the lines he's given.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not bad. Could a stronger actor do it? Maybe, but the lines he's given are bad. And I think he does an okay job in 3. 2's just bad.
Yeah.
Like, this was the love story.
Right.
Which, I'm like, George Lucas, have you ever had a...
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a weird... I'm watching the movie, and I know everyone had an opinion on their love story.
Yeah.
But I was like, trying to think, like, how could you have made that better?
Yeah.
Like, how could you have made them falling in love?
Well, you need...
like...
You need him to fall in love so he has kids, right? Like,
so he has Luke and Leia, so they have to fall in love.
He has to have kids.
Yeah.
So, you're stuck with him falling in love, or at least...
But it's like how... I'm watching these movies, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, well, I'm not a movie writer. I mean, I've seen enough movies but I'm like, I'm trying to like think of other movies, of other things I've seen, and I'm like, because everybody talked about how bad it was, how wooden it was, how cheesy the lines were, but I'm like, what could they have done to like, and I'm thinking of other movies that are better, and I'm like, well, where the characters fall in love? I'm like, I mean, did they really fall in love? Like, did they... It's just the movie is so good, you're watching it, and you're like, you just accept that these two characters fall for each other.
I think
in any random movie I'm thinking of, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, did they just focus too hard on the love story? It's like Lucas saw Titanic, and he wanted to outdo Titanic. He did. That was actually something he said.
Oh, really?
He wanted the love story to be better than Jack and, what's her face? Titanic.
Rose, yeah.
Yeah. And that was the other threat. People were...
Oh, yeah, DiCaprio,
DiCaprio being cast as Anakin.
We talked about... That would have been great.
I mean, it's funny, but honestly, back then, I didn't want him as Anakin.
Yeah.
I thought, like, no. But now I'm like, I'm singing movies now, and I'm like, he probably would have been pretty good.
What was his big movie at the time?
Well, Titanic was the biggest movie.
Yeah, you're right.
And honestly, that was like... I mean, it wasn't until a couple of years later that he started actually being in movies that people started to really like. Like Wall Street and, like... Even what's the one where Howard Hughes and he makes a bunch of he kind of makes like a bunch of middle of the road movies after Titanic.
Yeah, I'm thinking Catch Me If You Can is like a nice middle of the road.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, but like it isn't until like he starts getting to like mid to late 30s that he starts getting like a renaissance.
Yeah, and
then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he's great in that.
Yep. Yeah,
he's great in Django.
Well, and
which was weird that Django is in it.
Yeah,
Django
right.
Fett, the Django and Fett was in it.
Django Fett and
Pain. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
I remember that was like the big threat, and people were like, oh, they were like freaking out. But then they had casted Hayden Christensen, and he looked like someone who. The funny thing is, everyone was freaking out about NSYNC. I'm watching this movie, like he looked like he was.
He looked like he was in NSYNC.
Like, why don't you just cast what's his face at that point? He probably would have been fine. What's the guy who got the biggest guy out of NSYNC?
Kimberly.
Yeah, he probably would have been fine as Anakin. He's not a bad actor.
Honestly, yeah,
he probably would have been better.
Well, I looked at the movie poster, and the movie. When did this movie come out?
2002.
Okay.
Yeah, so you start seeing images in 2001,
and it's it's almost like a little dated even for then. I mean, the movie poster's real, like 90s-ish. It really plays up on like. Natalie Portman's like beauty, and I mean, I guess that's common of those things.
There were some criticisms and stuff, and that, and so, it's like a weird movie because it's like you're introduced to in episode 1, and like that's why people even say, like you said, episode 1 is kind of pointless in the end because it's like you could just it's merged in episode 2 to have it take place 10 years earlier. It'd be one thing, okay, let's say you did it 10 years earlier, but the kids are like 15 in episode 1, and now they're 25 in episode 2, and you're using the same actors. And you get them to play. You can get them to play young and older. It's like not a big deal,
right?
But instead, you have a little child.
It's just weird decision.
And you have the same girl in it, and she's 5 years older than him.
Yeah,
she's 14 in episode 1.
Right.
And then it's 10 years later, and she's still 5 years older than him. It's like it's really bizarre. It's important.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
No. Well, yeah. Okay, so so there's all of that going on, and I think that the thing that most jarred me watching it,
Lisa jarred you.
So a lot of the plot's kind of incomprehensible. A lot of the characters are real questionable. The CGI was.
There's some good CGI, and then there's some really bad CGI. The really bad CGI is almost how actors are integrated to scenes. And I took a picture and
Yes.
sent that to you.
Yep.
When Anakin, where Obi-Wan and Mace Windu are walking down a hallway with Yoda floating in a chair.
It looked like...
It looked like what'd you say?
Yeah, it looked like I just put a bunch of GIFs on an Instagram story. And no lie, that's what it looked like.
Patrick from SpongeBob just like dancing in the corner, and Homer Simpson going, woo, woo.
I'm maybe exaggerating a little, but I've turned out some better looking Instagram stories.
It didn't look good.
No,
it looks super bad. It looks like a cutscene from a video game.
But even like the really good CGI is like a little overwhelming. You're like, there's a lot of like
Yoda looked good in it.
Yeah, Yoda.
I mean,
fine.
To go from Yoda in the first
Sure.
episode 1, which was so bad,
yeah,
and then he felt like Yoda in this one. Like he was full CGI, and to go from like Jar Jar in the first one to Yoda, it was like amazing jump.
That's true.
There's some good CGI, and there's some stuff that just like it looks fucking old.
Right.
There's some.
Well, and it was so heavy on the CGI.
Yeah,
Episode
1 had a lot of practical effects, had a lot of real sets,
right?
Or sets, and then they would embellish them in CGI, but they would build full-on sets, and I felt like this one had a lot of fake imagery. So let's talk about the positives.
Oh yeah.
I think the Coruscant. Croissant.
Yes.
Planet croissant.
Yes.
With butter.
Delicious.
Get some jam.
Yeah.
A great breakfast.
That was a great look.
That scene is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like straight out. It feels like a Kieran Blade Runner had a kid and hung out with Star Wars.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
Well, those scenes where they're coming in, and it almost sounds like an old prop plane.
Oh, so that movie... Okay, so this movie is a little weird, too. Because this movie comes out in the late spring of 2002.
Yes.
Which is 9 months after 9/11.
Right. Tensions are still
The news is still showing the buildings falling down.
Yeah.
So the part when the plane lands and explodes, that freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah.
When it's flying through the city and it's landing, I'm from New York.
Yep.
I was there. Like, I wasn't there.
You were living in...
Not in New York City, no. I was living in Long
Island.
And I went to the city the next couple days after. And then you're constantly seeing on the news.
Sure.
And constant threats. So this movie's really freaky in some ways, though.
Oh, yeah.
Where the emergency powers.
Yep.
And you got the Patriot Act goes into effect. And then this movie, they're like, we need to start a war.
Yeah.
But if only one of the senators would give emergency powers.
Very similar. You know what I mean?
And it's like, did they is the timing... I know you said that this is the fall of the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
The fall of the Roman Republic and the rise of the
Empire.
But this was freaky.
It really was. I mean, look, I think that's...
I'm not saying it's a conspiracy. It's just the timing. No. I'm just like, did they reshoot scenes? Because Lucas definitely... If you watch episode 3, there's a lot of... He admits to it, too, that there's a lot of parables to George W. Bush in episode 3.
Yeah, I've heard that.
One of the lines in episode 3, and we'll talk about episode 3, was where basically Anakin says to Obi-Wan, if you're my enemy or something like that.
Yeah.
Which was something that Republicans were fucking saying around that time with the Iraq War.
Yeah.
Because episode 2 came out episode 3 came out we were just 2 years into the Iraq War at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, part of me thinks that definitely with episode 3, I think Lucas put his hand in there and kind of made the parallels a little more obvious or pointed. But that story, Lucas said, many times that he made the political backdrop in the Star Wars films was the fall of the Roman Republic.
Yeah.
And the rise of the Empire.
And obviously the Empire, though, is influenced by the Nazis.
Yes, yeah.
So there's a great documentary about Star Wars.
Uh-huh.
And Newt Gingrich is in it.
Oh, jeez.
No, but it's funny because he's like a nerd.
Yeah. Look, the guy's
a total turd.
Yes, he's terrible.
He's a literal turd monger.
But he does, he'll say 99 pure evil things, and then he'll say something pretty cool, we should have a moon base. And you're like... I like Star Wars. I like Star Wars too. Yeah.
Right. This guy's kind of cool.
It's like when Paul Ryan said he liked Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, which made no sense. I think the guy, what's his name, Tom Morello or something.
Yeah,
Rage was like, "Have you ever listened to that lyrics?"
Right? Have you?
Well, Newt Gingrich, he's being interviewed, and they're talking about the Empire, and he's like saying a sentence, and he's like, like, "Oh shit, my politics kind of sound like the Empire." Right. Like, I gotta find the line. It's super
funny.
That's funny. He's like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Empire was kind of cool. It did have a Death Star, and those stormtroopers are pretty sweet.
They were.
People like wearing those costumes.
Well,
Newt wins again.
Everything's coming up, Newt. But it is. So, like, we're at a point in like 200 years into America where we kind of have transitioned from a republic into kind of. So, if this movie had come out post.
Now we're in an idiocracy.
Yeah, right? If this movie had come out post World War I, in the lead up to World War II with the Nazis, then it would have seemed real prescient then too, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's just kind of weird, like I said, the timing of things.
It was, yeah.
But okay, so it begins with the explosion.
Right,
and you find out, of course, because they use decoys on. I love it, when kids will be like, "I'm a doll's decoy,"
right,
and
right.
Hey kids, do you know what a decoy is? Do you know what the main what's a decoy? Is that the person's friend? No. They're there to die.
Yeah, take a bullet
so the other person lives.
Right.
Oh.
And mission accomplished.
Do you want to be? Yeah. She says something like, she does. She goes, "I failed you, Queen." No. She's probably like, "No, I'm alive. You're dead. Thank you."
This was actually in your job description.
This was literally what you were supposed to do.
Normally when you say you had one job, it means that you did. But no, you did it.
You did it.
You had one job. Well done.
Good job. I'm going to have to go get another one of these fucking decoys now. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. That was, Well.
I failed you.
Nope. No, you didn't.
No.
Buck up.
Congrats. She pets her on the head. Yoink! Closes the eyes. I'm a dollar. Everything's coming up. I'm a dollar.
Yeah, right. Okay, so
it was weird they used that line throughout the movie.
Yeah, the little catchphrase.
Yeah, everything's coming up.
And then when Will Smith came in and said, "Oh hell no," that was like.
Then the movie took a dive.
Well, the other thing,
do you remember when Mace Windu came, chopped off Django's head? Yeah. And but it was weird that he came in and said, "Heads up!"
Right. Well, Mace Windu did chop off Django's head, right?
It's brutal. I'm I'm watching this scene, and okay, now we're jumping here.
Yeah,
that's fine. You saw this movie, guys, right?
Right. Well, I have another jump in a second, but
So it's the scene. This is around the scene where supposedly an NSYNC person gives one of the lightsabers. So all the Jedi show up, and Mace Windu jumps down.
Yep.
And Django just kills like a monster.
Yeah.
He's getting trounced by a space bull.
Right.
You see him rolling. And then he does this cool scene where the thing's running at him and he shoots it and it dies.
Yes.
It's really awesome. It's how he shoots it. He was different from Boba Fett.
Yeah.
He had the helmet, but there was everything about him was very different. And then Mace comes at him.
Yeah.
And he's shooting at him.
Right.
And Mace just comes and gruesomely chops his head off. And it's really bizarre too because it makes no sense. There was no that's something you do. That's like when Darth Maul gets chopped in half by Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
That you feel like there's some tension there because he just killed his Jedi daddy.
Right.
I don't know, that sounds weird.
The Jedi were weird in that.
Yeah, they're very strange. The Jedi, it's they're supposed to be these good peacekeeper, but then Mace Windu comes and it's did he have to chop his head off like that? Know. I'm sure he could have just cut him.
Well, I don't know. It
was pretty brutal.
Well, when all the Jedi showed up, and that was an amazing. If we want to talk about positives, I thought that was
that scene when the Jedi show up and then the clones show up is super awesome.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
And I rewound that a few times. You see Jedi show up, and then you see a few more, and you see a few more.
Yeah.
And then they kind of pan back out, and you see all these little lightsabers igniting,
Yep.
like in the crowd, and you get the impression that it must have been, I don't know, like 50 or 60 Jedi.
Something like that.
And as like...
Half of them in sync.
Yeah, right?
And the Backstreet Boys.
Exactly. And a few of them were doing
98
like
degrees.
synchronized dance
all
movies.
there. Yeah. Everybody.
Bye.
Jedi.
But man, if you had gone back in time and told my like 8 or 9-year-old self, like, hey, look, one day you're gonna get to see these Clone Wars. There's gonna be fucking 50 Jedi rolling in with lights. I would have exploded.
And Menudo is there.
Yeah, but it would have been just amazing. You know, I mean, I would have been.
So he chops his head off. And my favorite scene is like right after that, you see Boba Fett, little kid Boba Fett, and he's sad, and he picks up the helmet. And it would have been kind of cool when he picks up the helmet, the head plops out.
You know, I do, because I had so many questions.
And he'd be like, ah!
Well, I feel bad because after watching it, I had a lot of questions. The big one I had, and we can talk about this, is Sifo-Dyas. But like, so I googled.
They never explained that.
But I googled a bunch of Attack of the Clones like FAQs because I was like, look, I got some questions. I need to.
And an FAQ is what?
A frequently asked question.
Oh wow!
So one of them was like a frequently asked question is when Boba picked up the helmet, why didn't Jango's head fall out?
Right, that's what I always thought. I mean, like awesome.
And the answer is apparently
His head already fell out.
His head has already fallen out, and if you had watched the scene carefully, you would have seen the shadow.
Right. The helmet and the head were already separated. The head already, as the helmet shot up in the air from Mace Windu's brutal
beheading,
head hacking
of
Ned
Jango.
Starking,
right,
of Jango,
right, and then so
it was like it was weird because, like I said, it just didn't seem earned,
right. And when,
like I said, even when Obi-Wan he's just fighting Darth Maul, but like Darth Maul just killed his master, and he has to survive. He's falling. Darth Maul's got the higher ground, or whatever you want to call it, or he's got the advantage, and then Obi-Wan raises up and chops him in half. And it's dramatic, and it actually works.
Right.
In episode 1, believe it or not, that's actually a really good scene.
I would say.
And you feel the drama. They do a good job there. This was not earned. This was just like.
It was sticky.
It was weird. Yeah. It was like, I'm like, at the time when I saw it in theater, I was like, yeah, it's kind of cool. But then when I watched it at home, I was like, man, Mace.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not a Sith Lord?
I think, look, I think some of this, because I did think about this, I think some of it was that they were showing you, because you know how in the modern episode 7 and 8, they talk about how the Jedi were getting kind of out of control. And I think maybe there was maybe some of it was intended. Like they wanted to show you that the Jedi maybe were losing their grip. You know, they were not, they were a little arrogant.
Yeah.
They were a little like judge, jury, executioner. Mace Windu had a little Judge Dredd in him or something. I mean, like it was, I think that in retrospect, I wonder if maybe that wasn't meant to be like.
Nah, I think they just said, "Hey, it's kind of cool if Mace Windu just comes in and chops Jango Fett's head off." Yeah. Have you ever seen? There's a great Patton Oswalt bit. Now we're talking about Jango or the prequels. Now I'm not gonna do a good job. You could Google this Patton Oswalt prequel.
Okay.
And it's this funny ass thing where he talks about the prequels.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna butcher this, but I'll do it real quick. He's like. He's like, hey, you want to see Star Wars? Oh, man, yeah, I can't wait. Okay, you want to see, well, guess what? We got Boba Fett in the movie. Boba Fett, he's awesome. I love Boba Fett. He's got a rocket pack, gun, the helmet. I love him. Okay, well, he's a child in this movie. And he's kind of sad. Oh, I don't know if I'll...
Yeah.
And then they're like... Yo, you like Darth Vader?
Right.
Anakin Skywalker.
He's a whiny teenager.
Yeah, well, he's a child, and he's kind of sad. Oh. And it's like this funny bit, he's like, you like Angelina Jolie? They're like, oh yeah, she's hot, she's so beautiful. Well, here's John Voight's ballsack. Go jerk off to that. You like ice cream? Yeah, of course. Here's some rock salt. I think that's what the prequels were. And like, it's like, why Boba Fett did not need to be in the movie.
It was,
it made no sense. I was like watching it, and I was like, if he's the most overrated character. Because, like, I have tons of Boba Fett figures. I think Boba Fett is a great looking character.
Yes.
But he's not in the original movies enough to validate for him to exist in the prequels in the form that he's in.
Well,
if he was actually like a bounty hunter in the prequels, that would have been better. But I don't need to see him as a child.
No.
Because I don't know anything about Boba Fett to begin with.
Yeah, he was a great toy.
Yeah.
Maybe a great costume.
He's a great looking. He's a great on-screen presence from a visual.
Right. Well, that was another thing. That was like the Clone Wars in episode 4, episode 2 and 3. Is you saw Bosk and Boba Fett and IG-88
in the Clone Wars cartoon.
Well, no, I'm just talking about like an Empire and
an Empire for that one little scene.
Yeah, and it's like, oh wow, here's a whole huge backstory that I know nothing about. But just in that brief moment, you instantly get a good sense of like the contours of that backstory.
Yeah.
Like when Obi-Wan says the Clone Wars, you're like, oh, I can kind of see it in
my
head.
So if you're going to have this character, why not just have Boba Fett in episode 2?
He wouldn't be...
He can just... Like
a teen Boba Fett?
No. Why can't he be 30 or 50? Who cares? The guy in a costume.
You have no idea how old
you don't know any? Yeah, he could have been like...
Well, and Yoda was like 900.
Yeah, so. Boba Fett could be like, my people live twice as long or something. I don't know.
A Mandalorian.
Yeah. Mandalorian.
Right.
I don't know what that means. I'm trying to like play like they live longer.
Mandalorian. It just sounds. I don't know. I always like thought of like the sports car, obviously.
Yeah.
And it seems. Oh, it's almost.
Back. Marty McFly always looks at him. He's like. Looks at Boba Fett,
right?
And like,
but Mandalorian also sounds like an erectile dysfunction drug or something to me. It's like,
that's the rocket pack that they wouldn't let shoot out.
Yeah, you got problems with your rocket pack, you try the Mandalorian.
Well, speaking of the TV show, they're gonna release the trailer soon.
Well, that looks real good. Everything.
I have no idea. They showed a couple of little tiny clips. I know that Apollo Creed's in it.
Oh, is he?
Not Apollo Creed.
Carl Weathers?
Yeah, Carl Weathers in it.
Oh,
okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm curious to see.
Right.
So, there's a couple of things in episode 2.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought the Boba Fett thing was kind of stupid. And like I said, it made no sense. It was like, when they announced it, when I watched it in the theater, it's like, this is kind of cool. But then I rewatched it, and I'm looking at it just from like the way the prequels with the original trilogy. Like, okay, if this character was more developed and had more of a personality and was in the movie longer, and actually was a real threat and stuck around most of Return of the Jedi, then it'd be interesting to see him as a kid or see him younger. But he's just, like you said, he's just like a cool costume.
Yeah.
He's only in a couple scenes in Empire, and he's in 1 or 2 scenes in Return. I don't need to see him as a little child.
Right. He's better as like, maybe this is kind of the wrong way of looking at it, but he's better like as a Jason or a Michael Myers figure where like, you're not even focused on Boba Fett. It's just like, when Boba Fett shows up, he's like Captain Hook and Han Solo's like Peter Pan. You know what I mean? He's like, Boba Fett, wait, he's like, oh shit, it's Boba Fett. Some shit's going to go down, because he's this unknowable, kind of relentless bounty hunter. You're not even thinking about him as a character. He's just like an immediate threat.
So to him as a kid in the first one, it's like...
who cares?
Like,
I don't want to empathize with Boba Fett.
Like, I don't... Especially as a 12-year-old.
Right. Do you want to... Yeah. I mean,
it's stupid. Like I said, there's just... Have them, because there's a line where Darth, and this was always the thing. People always thought that Boba Fett was part of the Clone Wars because Darth Vader says to him in Empire, "Remember this time, no disintegrations." Like, hey, Bubba,
right?
You know that thing you do with the disintegrations?
Yeah, ease up on that. Yeah,
chill a little on that. Like that'd been kind of cool if like you had him in there and he does some disintegrations. In the third movie or something.
That's totally on brand for Boba Fett.
Right, it makes total sense. And then when you see an Empire and it catches up, then you're like. Oh, yeah. I remember when he did that disintegration.
Exactly. Well, okay, so let me talk about Sifo-Dyas. I read, so I watched the movie again last night, and I remember way back in the day being really interested in Sifo-Dyas. And Sifo-Dyas was apparently a Jedi master. Like,
what was Sifo-Dyas again?
Okay, in the movie, the Jedi find out that the clones had been ordered by Sifo-Dyas.
Right.
And Sifo-Dyas...
And they sent Obi-Wan on a mission.
Right.
Basically to get him away from Anakin, so Anakin can do a little creepy adventure with Amidala.
Right. So Sifo-Dyas was legitimately a Jedi Master, and they said Sifo-Dyas ordered these 10 years ago, but Sifo-Dyas had died prior to 10 years. So, yes, Sifo-Dyas was a real character, but it does not seem likely that he ordered the clones because he had died prior to when the clones were ordered. So the theory is that that Christopher Lee's character, who they didn't...
Count Dooku?
Count Dooku, who was also Darth Tyrannus.
Yeah, they don't ever say that.
No, they never explain it.
The toy said that. I remember reading that. His name was Darth Tyrannus.
Right.
Tyrannus or Tyrannus.
Yeah. So...
But they always call him Count Dooku.
But Darth Tyrannus was the one who they think ordered it. Now, in the original script, I don't know if this is true, but I read it in like 3 or 4 different places.
Okay.
And the internet rarely steers me wrong. the original way it was spelled was Sifo-Dyas or something like that. And it was much more clearly Sidious.
Right.
Right? And it was like, not an anagram exactly, but it was a misspelling of Sidious.
Right.
And so... Right, and so
I'm
he's
not
the one...
Israel. I'm not...
Right. Igor. Yeah. So that's it on that, is that it's probably Sidious, but they never really explain it, you know? It's like a Maltese Falcon. It's a MacGuffin. You know, it just keeps the plot moving. So what were you going to say? Were you going to say...
Nothing. It's just like... Obi-Wan finds out that this guy you never heard anything about him, and then there's a bunch of clones being made, and he's like, and that I would say the CGI in those scenes look pretty good.
Yeah,
the cloners look pretty good. I like their eyes, like these cool eyes are like in space, the water planet, and I like the fight between Obi-Wan and Boba Fett. Now I know what's funny. Whenever people say things about fan service. Yeah. Episode 2 was filled with fan service. They were like, okay, guys, fine. You didn't like episode 1, so we got Boba Fett fighting Obi-Wan. We got Anakin killing a bunch of sand people.
Stuff in there.
There was a bunch of like things, Yoda flipping around, you know.
Yeah.
But you see like a mentioning of Count Dooku, I guess, earlier. You see like a head bust of him, like when he's in the library.
Yeah.
And there's all these like different rumors, but like this movie, where I think, again, this is by far not a perfect movie.
Sure.
One of the biggest failures is that Count Dooku's on the movie.
Yeah.
He doesn't show up till like 20 minutes to the end or something like that. Like.
Right.
There's a cool little scene when you first get to meet him, and he's hanging out with all those like aliens, and they're like,
and he seems pretty chill.
And Christopher Lee is probably the best part of the movie. Actually,
he's a very good actor.
He gets good lines.
Yep.
He knows how to chew it up. The man's been in many shitty movies over the years, so he knows how to like.
He's been around.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And he's just fresh off of Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, Saruman.
Yeah, which. You remember, like, in Saruman, like, it's cool, like, he doesn't show up, like, he's supposed to be in the beginning of 3, and they saved him for the special edition DVD.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
Yeah. So... Yeah. That scene where you're introduced to, like, the Separatists, because that's, like, the big plot.
Yeah.
It's the Separatists. And, like, those aliens from the first one.
Right.
Their voices are not the same now.
Right, they've become less stereotypical. Right. Yeah.
I'm not going to say what they sounded like.
Right, they become less problematic. They become less overtly racist.
Right. Well, that was the one thing, too, episode 2. The alien voices were not as obnoxious in this one.
Yeah, they did tone it down quite a bit.
Good. Sure. Luke was like, fine. Less stereotypical voices.
Right.
Yeah, fine, you got it.
Yeah.
But like, I like that. That's probably like one of the better scenes. Like when you see all the aliens sitting around, they're all like, what's the word? Like scheming or like.
I'll tell you, I liked, even though it was super heavy CGI, I liked the ending space battle, not the near surface battle.
Yeah,
you know, like I like that.
Well, it's
kind
like
of
all
CGI.
CGI.
It's all CGI. You know, it's all CGI. It's a little it's a lot obvious, but you know, it looks really cool. You know, I mean, and I
the way they shot. Like I like when they like blow up like that one. So, like, I guess you find out, like, the space donuts from the first one, like, a lot of them were based on that.
Yeah.
And, like, the big balls, like, going up in the sky, and they shoot, and it just comes crashing down.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that looks cool.
It was.
There's
like
some cool things in the movie.
Yeah.
But it's just... Man, I just, like, lose words. I'm like...
Well...
I mean, it's like, it's so funny. These movies have been chewed up. They've been... Like, what can we say that other people have not said about these movies?
Well...
It's like...
I think what you said about the beginning is kind of like the fairest way for me or for us to look at it. Like, as fans and everything, the biggest sin of Attack of the Clones for me was that I saw Phantom Menace and it was a misfire, but I was still like, okay, there's still a lot of goodwill, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw Attack of the Clones and I liked it, but it made me question whether or not the original trilogy was even good. You know what I mean?
I will say it never got.
Well,
when I left it when I saw episode 2 premiere night and I left the theater. The first I did, we all said this was better than 1.
Oh yeah, it was.
But that was not that the bar was very low.
Yeah.
But the more we realized, like the love scene was horrible.
Well, that was the thing. I was like, because I saw it and I was like, okay, it's better. I liked X, Y, and Z. It still wasn't good, and then I was like, are the first 3 even good? Like, I should rewatch those. Maybe I just liked them because I was a little kid. And I eventually...
You know, I know that, like, people say that about, like oh, you only like the originals because you saw them as a kid, right? But I feel like, no, those are better movies.
Like, 1 and 2, well, 4 and 5, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back. Clearly good movies by any standard.
Empire being the best.
Empire's by and far the best.
Return has some good moments, but...
Return of the Jedi had some great moments, I thought. It had a lot of really great moments. I didn't love the Ewoks. I mean, that seemed a little kiddish to me.
I didn't even like that when I was a little kid.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, this is boring.
Right.
Oh, that's the other thing about episode 2. The middle part is horrible.
Just drags.
It is like just... Everyone's just like I said, there's a cool moment when Obi-Wan sees all the clones, and then he fights Jango, but then he goes into space, and it's like super boring. And then that love story with Anakin, they're on a field, and he's like on a cow ball sack, a space ball sack, surfing on a space ball sack. And that's bad. Well, I do love the part though when they're talking politics and like Anakin's just a straight up fascist.
Oh yeah.
He's just like, well, I'm just get like people to listen, and they did whatever we want. And she's like, and like, there's so many things he does in this fucking movie that like she should be like, this guy's a straight up psychopath.
Yeah.
1, he's stalking me. 2, I don't like his politics are horrible.
Did she like him?
He just murdered an entire village of
Sand people. Yeah.
Sand people. Fine, you could say they're not exactly human, but they're still living creatures.
Yeah.
And he just murdered them. And he says it too. He goes, I hate them.
Yeah.
I killed them all. Even the women and children. And she's just sitting there like, I think I could change him.
Right, like, but...
I think I could change him.
But even in, like, a lot of... even in a lot of, like... I think that's one of the things that was, like, really problematic with the love story. Is, like, there was no reason for her to like him.
No.
Like, none. Like, it wasn't
he's like a whiny little bitch.
Yeah.
He, like... And he's horrible. And he's, like... And he's super dumb when it comes to, like, politics. She's just, like...
And she's super smart.
Super
and
educated.
Yeah.
She's been a queen. She's a senator. She's dealt with...
She can fire a laser gun. She's like an action hero.
Yeah.
She's like...
Anakin's just like a dumbass. Like, fine. He's like, he's really good at pulling an apple apart in the air.
But she's like older than him.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if anything, she should have been like coming on to Obi-Wan.
Yes. Well, that's always the joke.
Uh-huh.
Is that Obi-Wan had an affair with her.
Oh.
And Anakin kind of thought that in episode 3.
That's right. That probably should have happened.
It makes more sense.
Well,
because she's
really
like in the
does.
middle. He is supposed to be like 10 years older than him.
Yeah.
That's always been the thing. He's like 10 or 15 years older, and she's like 5 years older. So it kind of makes sense. She's kind of like...
Yeah. Well, that character, the character of Amidala is like smart and pretty and worldly and strong and confident. And you're right, Anakin's just like this whiny little bitch.
Like who's like a dumbass when it comes to like...
Right, who's not
political
smart.
intrigue and like...
Yeah.
He's just like, I don't know, why don't we just get like a guy to come and just tell him what to do? Because that's not how the world works, Anakin.
Right, yeah. Because,
yeah, you don't have your poor people skills, Anakin. Gee, I wonder why I got so easily manipulated by Darth Sidious. Because you're a jackass.
So, I guess that's another remake. Like, Darth... Okay, so Darth Sidious is the Emperor.
Yes.
Now, do they ever... I mean, we all know that.
He's called Darth Sidious.
They call him Darth Sidious.
And actually, the part when you're introduced to Dooku...
Right.
I think you see the scene with the table first. You see him like, it's weird. And then Obi-Wan's like hanging. And they have this weird interaction. It's kind of a cool scene. And Dooku comes in. And it's like weird too because he's like, Obi-Wan, it's like the lines get repeated. And Obi-Wan's like, I'll never join you.
Right.
And which is like Luke and Vader.
Yeah.
But then he tells him, he says to Obi-Wan, he literally admits, he basically tells him the plot of episode 3. What if I told you there's a Sith Lord running everything that's tricking everyone right now? What if I've told you everyone's under a spell under a Sith Lord?
Yeah.
He says that to him.
Yeah,
and Obi-Wan just like totally forgets that. He doesn't bring it up ever later on. He doesn't go, like in episode 3, he just go, oh shit, that's what he told me. Oh, I thought he was kidding.
Yeah. That is weird. So the Emperor's Darth Sidious.
Yes.
And he's the lead, he's the main Sith. So he's the master. And for the entirety of the Star Wars movies from like 1 through 6, he's the one.
And I guess the rumor is in 9.
Okay, right. And so you had Darth Maul as the apprentice initially. And then
I guess the whole time, the whole plot supposedly was that, as revealed in 3 or whatever, which always was super dumb.
Right.
And I know we're going to talk about 3 at some point. I don't want to talk too much about 3 right now.
Right.
So maybe we'll say it for 3. About, but supposedly, Darth Maul was never meant to, he was always meant to fail. He was setting him up. Yeah. And Dooku was meant to fail too. He was useful...
Who's the other Darth?
There's no other Darth. It's General Grievous.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, General Grievous. Yeah, he's the robot. Yeah.
General Kenobi.
Right.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
He looked cool.
Yeah, he did look cool.
Yeah. Huh. All right.
So, yeah, so then Obi-Wan's in that scene, like I said, he's being held captive. And, Dooku's telling him, and Dooku is Qui-Gon's master, actually.
Yes.
There is a lineage here.
Right.
And I feel like that's actually kind of cool. I don't feel like they exploited that enough. They didn't exploit it enough.
No.
I wish Dooku was introduced way earlier in the movie. What would have been better is if, and again, I'm not a writer of movies.
Sure.
But I've seen a lot of movies, and I've seen a lot of good movies. If I were to make episode 2, and I would have Count Dooku be the main villain of the movie, or the main, what's the word, protagonist?
Antagonist, yeah.
Antagonist, yeah. Sorry. I always get those wrong.
Yeah,
Antagonist. Yeah. I would have him introduced in the beginning.
Right.
As a good guy.
Yeah, exactly. As one of the Jedi.
And they could be even say, oh, why, look, it is my old apprentice, Count Dooku.
Right.
Oh, Yoda, my former master. It's good to see you. It's been many of years that I've seen you. Yes, it has. Let's catch up. and then Dooku hangs out with Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And you're okay, this guy hasn't been around for years.
Right.
He hasn't been around for 20 years. He's been
What's he been doing?
What the fuck's he been doing? And, they drop some hints.
Right.
And that's in the beginning of the movie. So that's the first act of the film. And then throughout the middle of the movie, maybe Obi-Wan can be on. Maybe you still do the plot where Anakin and Amidala go on their creepy love fest, but then you get Obi-Wan hanging out with his former master's master.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like almost like a granddaddy thing
right
going on here. Like he's his grandfather. He's hanging out with his grandfather he didn't know about. He thinks he's great. He's learning things about him.
Getting that little like courtship of Eddie's father, like, vibe going.
Sure.
Let me tell you about my best
friend.
Barely
know about that reference, but yes. And then you build him up that way. And then and he's still played by Christopher Lee, and it's still he's still the lines, and you can have him go in and out. Maybe he's not with them the whole time. Maybe,
Some unexplained. You
find out where did he go, and and then it's revealed later that he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Curse
your sudden but inevitable
betrayal. Join me, and then it'll be like, oh shit, and he's like, no, I'll never join you. And then, and then he's like, you'll be dead. And then it's like, oh, cool. That's a big, good build up. And then you get Count Dooku who goes from like an okay character to being like one of the best characters. Right. And I know, and again, this isn't like the most clear, that story's been done before with the guy who's
there's
really,
a reason that's been done
but
before.
He could be his he could learn things from him. He's still a teacher. Yeah. He's they kind of did that in Solo a little bit with Woody Harrelson's character.
True, yeah.
And he's in the movie more. Woody Harrelson. But it'd be like, okay, so imagine if you see the movie Solo, which isn't even that great to begin with, and then Woody Harrelson comes in the last third of the movie and he portrays him, and you're just like, I didn't really know who you were anyway. What if I told you I was that guy's? Yeah, I mean, I guess it's cool.
Should have been there. That is true, because and I think that's probably, and I know other people have said this before, but that's like a main kind of recurring flaw with this movie is that it tells you, it doesn't show you.
Yeah, they said that none of these characters have no agency.
Oh yeah, right.
They're
just reacting.
They're on a train.
Yeah.
And they're on the
Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer. Yeah. They're all trapped in the back.
Yeah. I don't know. And the Jedi were so stupid. That was a big disappointment.
Well, everyone's dumb. It's everyone has to be dumb. They're just my visions are cloudy. I can't tell. And it's stupid because it's okay, a good example how you could do things. It's like Infinity War, right?
Yeah.
How do you make Thanos win and make it easier for him to win? You remove Hulk off the table.
Okay, right.
Hulk gets written off the movie and he doesn't want to fight anymore.
Yeah.
He gets his ass kicked. He comes out in the beginning swinging, and it's awesome. And you're like, holy shit, it's the Hulk versus fucking Thanos. And they're beating the shit out of each other, and then Thanos beats the shit out of him. And Hulk's like, yeah, I'm not coming out anymore.
Right.
Because he doesn't want to be used anymore.
Yeah.
But it's also a good way. You just remove a huge power from, you took something off, because he is a Deus Ex Machina character.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, now I just lost my train of thought when it comes to...
Well, no, it's I follow you, because the Avengers did it real well when they...
Right. So everyone in these Star Wars movies, in the prequels, they have to be dumb. They have to be so clueless of their surroundings and everything that's going on that anyone would pick up on the fact that the guy who's running... that there's something really shifty about Palpatine.
Oh, yeah.
No one picks up on it.
Right.
No one. They're just I know there's a Sith Lord around here, but I don't know who it is. And why has that guy got weird Sith statues in his freaking office?
It's his Nazi memorabilia.
Oh shit, that was happening the whole time? Yes, I'm a huge fan of that era. I'm a historian. I'm a history buff.
Yeah. So, what was
I'm a student of history.
What was the Phantom Menace? Was it Sidious?
It was him. He was the Phantom Menace.
He was the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, because in the end of the movie, when Qui-Gon is being burned because the Jedi's don't fade yet, which I always thought was kind of stupid. I hated that that the fading, the Jedi's fading to dust or whatever. That's a very recent. You got this religion, you got this thing that's goes back I don't even know. It might be 100,000 years old. I don't know. It goes back thousands and thousands of years, and it isn't until the third movie, or the first one technically, where Yoda tells Obi-Wan that he was talking. I was talking with my old friend Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan's like, Really? Like, really? Like, Yoda, you alright, man? You hit it in the head too hard? It's kind of stupid. It's like...
Someone find Yoda's keys. So,
yeah. You know what? Yoda, let me drive you home.
Yeah. They just all seemed oblivious and not particularly curious about stuff that maybe they should have been.
Like, they're saying things. They're like, oh, we should look into it.
Right.
But they never do. It's like that shitty friend you have that's like, yeah, I'll get around to doing this.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I said I would. So does that count? And they're like, no, you didn't do anything.
I think this is weird because we've been remarkably apolitical. So when we kind of went into George Bush a little bit, but like it's kind of like we were talking before we even recorded. Like, at what point do people impeach Trump? You know, at what point does the military say, like, look, we're not going to put kids in cages anymore. We're just not going to do it.
We're not going to send clones into battle.
Right. Well, like, I don't know. I mean, like, a lot of it sounds so implausible.
Well, the problem with so the second movie begins where, like, what's-his-face has been because in the end of the one, Palpatine becomes the Grand Chancellor.
Yeah.
So he is, like, basically, he becomes like Mitch McConnell.
Well, yeah.
Of the Senate.
Or Hitler.
Well, no, he's just, like, running the Senate. This isn't, like, in episode 1, he just gets the power. Yeah. He's just like, I'll do a better job than this guy. He was weak.
Well, that's how Hitler started, didn't he? He wasn't immediately a dictator. He became
he was, like, higher up, and then they eventually took up. The Reichstag happened.
Right.
So this movie, you could say that episode 2 is the Reichstag.
Okay, yeah.
Where... Oh, look what happened. Well, actually, the third movie is where the Reichstag happens. That's when he blames the Jedi.
Yes.
Say that, episode 3.
Right.
So, episode 2, he's already established. He's kind of doing this for 10 years already.
Yeah.
He's just like business as usual. Everything is like fine. Nothing's happening. He's just like, you know, everybody's doing Jedi stuff. You know, you see Obi-Wan and Anakin, and you know, they're talking about little adventures they've been on in the elevator, and they're like, oh, like when I saved you from this, and like they also kind of like make Obi-Wan into like a fool a little bit, like he seems to be needs to be saved a lot, which is weird. But then in episode 3, it's like he's a badass, but in episode 2, he had to constantly be saved by Anakin.
He was showed up by Anakin quite a bit. Do you remember that one scene where like he's holding on to a probe or something?
Yeah.
And it was just like so stupid.
Like, you talking about Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And then Anakin comes finally with the ship.
Right. I just kept thinking like, well, clearly he'd fall. I know that's not the point.
And then like when the ship goes, like they're driving and Anakin's like, and Obi-Wan's like, what the fuck are you doing, you idiot? Like, he's just a douchebag.
That was weird.
So so Palpatine's like, he's running everything. It's like he could have just stayed there, but no, he has an agenda.
Right.
And now it's like it's been 10 years, I guess, and he wants to like get the motion going. Like those clones that he ordered now are mature. They age double. Live like they're double the age supposedly.
Right.
So like they live like a half-life.
Yes.
So all the clones are like 20 years old now, even though they're technically 10.
Right.
Or a little less. And it's funny to see the kids. So like that was like the next crop. And then like, they're all like, it's so weird. And it's like he's running things, but he's not doing anything like that no other politician's doing. At least they don't show you in the movie. There's nothing questionable. And then like in the end of the movie, when they're like, oh, we gotta like, we're getting a distress call from Obi-Wan. Like there's a plot, the Separatists. And they're like, well, we're gonna have to do things. And like, oh, the only way to get this army is if we get a special, if I get like, emergency powers.
Right.
And then that one guy who, it's so funny. They introduced this like one guy who's like his, like kind of like his Bib Fortuna.
Oh yeah,
the guy with like the blue dude,
with,
like the horns and stuff. It's so funny. He's like his like lackey. He's not in the movie, in the trilogy. He should. It's almost like he should be in the other trilogy because he is like his like number 2 guy.
Right.
He is his Colonel Sanders from Spaceballs. But he's like, and he's such a con man. The way he's like, oh, if there was only some senator out there that could was brave enough to give us the powers. Oh yes, if only there was a senator. And then Jar Jar's like, ooh, Misa dum dum.
Well, I wonder...
And then they do the scene, and Jar Jar's like, gives him the power, and everyone votes for it, and Jar Jar's like, got the dumb face, like, oh, look what I did. And,
right.
And then, like, Palpatine's like, I love democracy. And it's just like, something's on.
I think they tried really hard to give it that same gravitas that Empire Strikes Back had. And in some ways they succeed, because it is a pretty grim, serious, but in other ways it didn't succeed.
Well, it's like, it's setting the stage into, everything's setting the stage into motion. Clone Wars obviously leads into the fall of the Republic, beginning of the Empire. And the Clone Wars is the catalyst.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, you only see the beginning of the Clone Wars.
Right.
Because Yoda even goes,
the Clone Wars have begun, or something.
Oh, these Clone Wars begun, just have they, or whatever the fuck Yoda says. Like,
right.
And they're like, oh, good thing it's over. And they're like, no, it's not. Tune in for more adventures.
I don't know. I mean, I wanted, that would have been like a great TV series, like the Clone Wars, I mean, obviously, like...
Well, they had the cartoon.
Yeah.
And the cartoon actually wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird, though. Like, I know it's so funny. I think people, especially a lot of younger people who are, like, now probably, like, in their early 30s.
Right.
They have a false memory of the prequels being good, I think because they watched the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And the Clone Wars does justice to a lot of characters. It fleshes out characters. It makes characters better. Actually, like I said, I saw some episodes of Jar Jar. I didn't mind them.
Yeah.
Like...
Well, General Grievous was in the...
well, they're all in it.
Yeah.
And then you introduced all these new characters. And then you introduced this one character that's like Anakin's apprentice, which is really weird.
Oh,
it makes no sense. Because when you watch like 3, time has passed. Mm-hmm. But you're introduced to this character in the Clone Wars, Katana, or whatever her name is.
Okay.
And she... People will be like, her name's actually...
Sure.
Whatever,
yeah.
go Google it. It's this Padawan. He gets a Padawan for some bizarre reason, and it feels weird. They claim the Clone Wars fits in between the movies. But if you watch the series, you're like, no, like Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones and 3 are supposed to be like 3 years apart.
Right.
But if you watch that series, you feel like, no way, it's like 8 years apart or something. Like, there's so much that happens. You're just like, there's no way. They bring Darth Maul back in the series, which is awesome. And he becomes like, that's why I like, but it's funny. It's like the same thing like when I talked about earlier about normal viewing public versus
that's true.
uber geek. It's like Sony making a Morbius movie. No one gives a fuck about Morbius. The majority of the people that saw the movie Solo, when Darth Maul came out in the end, most people were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Last time I saw him, 20 years ago, he got cut in half.
Right.
And he was dead. And I'm sitting there going, no.
Right.
Actually, in the 3rd season of the Clone Wars, we are introduced to Darth Maul's brother, something.
That's true.
And then,
and
then we are discovered that Darth Maul actually survived the
Right.
I feel like the Simpsons character.
Yeah. Comic book guy.
Or like the guy who's like, wow, and Itchy and Scratchy, when he hits a magical xylophone.
Played on his rib cage.
It's an A.
Are we to believe that this is some sort of magical rib cage?
Why would a man wearing a shirt that says genius at work watching a kid's show?
Yeah. Well,
but it's like,
the average
I always like separate myself. And I always like try to tell people, like, separate yourself from like this. There is like the main viewing public does not know what the fuck Darth Maul.
That's true.
They thought Darth Maul was dead. Yes, it got a lot of press. If you read Entertainment Magazine or watched the Clone Wars or saw this, Darth Maul came back.
Right.
If you're an avid Star Wars fan, I would say, I don't know. I'm sure I could find out the math and figure it out of like your casual Star Wars viewer, people that go see the movies in the theater, versus people that see the movie theater and actually read and buy the other stuff. And watch the cartoon and play the video games.
I had the Star Wars Encyclopedia by, what was that guy, Stephen Sweet?
But again, that you're a bigger consumer.
Right.
And I'm a bigger consumer.
Yes, the average person doesn't Google like the correct spelling of Sifo-Dyas.
Thinking about that at all. They're not...
Right.
When they do their podcast, they're talking about Adam Sandler.
Yeah, right. Adam Sandler shared universe.
Yeah, Adam Sandler shared. Yeah. So, yeah, it's always kind of funny, like how I don't know. I lost my train of thought, but like that's why I was saying like so. That's why this going back to what we talked about earlier with Sony to rip Peter Parker out of you basically destroyed the character. The average person
is no longer that character.
Not buying the comic book. The average person, the video game's very popular, but it's a video game.
Right.
It's not a movie. It's not a cartoon. It's a video game.
Yeah.
I mean, people may there's a story in it, but people are not. They're not there to. They're there to play the game.
Yeah. It's a different thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's a very dumb move on their part. It'd be like if, I don't know, you took Darth Vader out of Star Wars or something. Or you're like, we're taking Luke out of Star Wars.
Or you put Boba Fett in Star Wars, but you made him a sad 10-year-old child.
Yeah. He's sad.
Right. Well, all right. So I guess that's Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, so, then it ends with like, they do a lot of other things. Like, it's funny how, like, Last Jedi, we'll talk about that one day. Last Jedi, it's like, people were nervous that they were just going to be a rip-off of Empire. And Attack of the Clones, it's like, people were nervous that Attack of the Clones would just be a rip-off of Empire also.
Right.
Because even, like, Episode 1, it still, like, follows the path of New Hope a little bit.
Sure,
bit. Where they even fight, like, a mini Death Star in the end.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different, but they still follow some of those. And they even have a celebration in the end. They have a parade.
Yep.
Just like in the end of 4.
And it's like, okay, you got the desert planet. I mean, there's a lot of parallels.
And in 4, and then this one, they tried to do some parallels too. It ends with Anakin getting his hand cut off.
Yeah.
Which is like I like that his arm gets cut off worse than it's like Luke just gets his hand chopped off.
Right.
Anakin gets his arm cut off from like the forearm.
Yeah.
Like he loses most of his arm.
Right. Well, and you get the feeling like he's going down that path. They're going to have to gradually.
Well, the way like they both are like, let's go both like when Dooku's about to fight him and Obi-Wan and they charge in and Obi-Wan's like, let's do it together, and Anakin's like, no, and it's dumbass.
Right.
And then but like again, it's like there's no drama behind it. It's like, yeah, he cuts his arm off, but it's like
right.
There was no tension behind it. It's like, okay, yeah, I mean I know what you're doing here. Yeah. It makes sense. And then Yoda comes out. And I love that scene though. It's like everyone's like, whoa.
Yeah.
He comes in and then it's so stupid. Like, I'm watching the scene, I'm rewatching this, and I always thought, as cool as it is, it's super dumb. Like, they're fighting. At first, they're using their powers of force. And they even say something dumb like, where Dooku, like, I'm going to butcher the line here. He's like, it looks like our test of Jedi ability. Like, now we have to wage in combat. Yeah. And that's when, like, Yoda pulls out his little mini saber.
Right.
I love it.
And he's doing the flipping.
And he's just all of a sudden he's not like this creechy old man. Like, look at Kane. He's just like rah, rah, and he's hopping around. And
I loved that when I saw it.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it actually. It makes sense. It actually makes sense that he would. Again, it's like the Zen master. It goes back like they would do something like that. Yeah. You feel like watch old like kung fu movies. Like the old man would be like out of nowhere with the long gray beard, and he all of a sudden be kicking the shit out of everybody. Yeah. Like it didn't bother me. It's just corny how they're doing a little Jedi, and they're like, all right, well, it looks like we're gonna have to do some combat, right, audience? Yeah. Hey, audience, you didn't think we were gonna do this? Wink. Right. Here comes a little lightsaber. How you like me now? And then someone said, it's like Count Chocula versus like a little goblin or something.
Yeah.
And then and then it's kind of stupid. I don't know. It's cool, but man, nothing was worse than the commercials that came out after episode 2. Yeah. To get people to go see when they were we revealed it now. Right. Yoda man, like they literally said that in the TV. Oh shit! Like that. It's like no one liked the movie, but everyone loved Yoda in the movie. Yeah. So they were like.
They hit that hard, yeah. Yeah. Well, I went back, like I said, I usually go back and read like Wikipedia entries and like old articles from back when it was released. And I think our consensus 20 years later is about the consensus they had right after it was released. It's an improvement on episode 1. but there's a lot of problems with it.
And it's kind of funny because people like revisit those movies and they actually say that episode 1 is a better movie than episode 2. Which I'm like, well, but that's not saying much. I'm not saying it's also now episode 1's a good movie. They're just saying episode 2 is that bad.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
It's like saying Totino's is better than Gino's.
Hey,
sure.
You know, or Celeste. Don't dare say that about Gino's and Totino's.
Bonanza.
I'm trying to think like McDonald's and Burger King.
Yeah, I mean like...
Or Jack in the Box tacos and Burger King's new tacos.
Yeah.
This shit tastes terrible. Well, this shit tastes less terrible. Okay.
We have a winner.
Clearly you win.
Yeah. Episode 1, look, I'm still going to say at least episode 2 felt like there's some progress. There's some progression in the plot.
The plot's moving. There's definitely a direction.
And
it feels more like Star Wars.
Yeah. And look, when I was a little kid, sitting in the movie theater on my 15th viewing of A New Hope, or Star Wars as I called it, I wanted to see the Clone Wars. Yeah, I wanted to see the Clone Wars. You know, I didn't want to see the pod race or
this felt like I remember when you said when we talked about episode 1 did not age with you or something or didn't meet you.
Yeah,
this movie did not feel juvenile.
No.
I mean, it really isn't. No. And you watch the movie, there's some silly scenes and there's some dumb scenes like the alien picking his ass. But it's like a funny visual, and honestly, you blink it. It's not going to ruin the plot. It's not like it's not like Jar Jar getting farted on by a creature. He's like, oh, Pluto! And everything's like that's like 30 seconds of your life. There's no scenes like that in this movie.
That's true.
No,
it's a pretty straight movie.
It's like I said, yes, there's some bad things in it. There's some things I think it could have been better.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just rewrote episode 2. Count Dooku. You introduced him earlier.
Leverage your good players, right?
He's the best part of. He is one of the better parts of episode 2. He's hardly in it. And you could have brought him in earlier. He's like, look, it's our former friend. He's Oh, I have a lot to teach you. I am your former teacher's teacher or something. I'm your former teacher's teacher. What does that make us? Absolutely nothing.
That could have been really good. You could really... And it doesn't take much to kind of write that movie in your head as a better version of episode 2.
And you have them there, and then there's more weight. So when Dooku almost throws Obi-Wan to the side, and then he cuts off Anakin's arm, it's like, oh, that makes more sense. There's more weight. It's like maybe there's a conflict earlier with Mace Windu and Jango. And then when Mace Windu cuts off his head, it makes sense because they had a previous conflict.
Yes.
Or maybe you don't have Mace Windu kill Jango, you have Obi-Wan kill him.
That would have made
or you don't kill Jango, and you have him come back in episode 3, as another as an antagonist. But he is. The funny thing is, he is in episode 3. He is all the clones.
Yeah. Now, our kids are about the same age. Your kid's 9 and mine is 8.
Yeah.
Has your son seen Attack of the Clones?
He does not.
Not his thing.
No, he's definitely not a Star Wars person right now. It's not his thing. He saw 7 and 8 in the theater. He did not like Rogue One.
That's right. He
hated Solo. I still think it's because I went with my wife. We all went together. I think if I just start with him. But he did not like it. He refused to ever watch it. I accepted. I mean, he'll see 9 when it comes out. I know he will, but he doesn't care about Star Wars. And I'm wondering too if, is this thing as people shit on the prequels, there are kids who grew up with it. There are people in their 20s and 30s who actually like these movies.
That's true. As unironically,
doomed generation.
Well, I saw because I saw episode 1. I'm sorry, the first I saw Star Wars I think I was in 2nd grade, and our kids are in 3rd grade. So even if I'm wrong, it was around this time.
The funny thing is, I didn't see. It's I grew up with it, but I didn't see Star Wars until I was
you
I saw Empire in the theater, and I saw Return. I didn't see Star Wars until 84 or something when it finally showed up on HBO.
Yeah,
I remember finally premiering. But it's funny because I felt like I've seen it. I feel like I've seen it. I saw like clips of it on TV. I saw the book. I was in my mom's stomach. Who knows? Maybe I always felt like it was in there.
You may have almost seen it, because I remember I bought an 8-track tape, which was basically a recording of the dialogue.
I knew the story. I knew. Yeah. I had the toys. I remember Luke showing up on the Muppets. Yep. It's like all these like.
And there used to be a show on Saturdays called like. I think it was called like 20th Century Fox or whatever, but it was basically a movie show. And they would do week after week of episodes about Star Wars. And you'd see, that's when I first saw like clips of like Biggs in Star Wars.
Okay, yeah, because everyone knew what Biggs was. Because I remember just from the storybook.
Yep.
He's in the book.
Yeah. And they would have like some scenes, like some filmed scenes of Biggs and talking to Luke. And
that's interesting.
Biggs is like, I'm going to go join the rebels, and Luke's like, I'm gonna fucking farm shit here,
Yeah, like deadbeat uncle. Oh, that's the other thing. Okay, let's close this out.
Okay, yeah.
But I feel like that you brought that up. Like we totally forgot a key moment in the movie.
Are you talking about the graves, or?
Well, so we talked about Anakin as like a psychopath. Okay, so he has a dream in the movie. I guess they had sex. I'm assuming they had sex.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I don't know. They must have did something.
You're supposed to think that.
I'm assuming they did something. Like seeing they're cooking breakfast. Right. That's like classic movie thing.
Making bacon on the beach.
with the space ball. The actual space ball.
Yes.
He was riding. Worst CGI ever. And she says, when she's running through the field, I'm like, what is the sound of fucking music?
That was
so dumb.
It was dumb.
Let's run through the field. Yeah. Then I'll fall in love with you, Anakin. And then we can talk politics.
Yeah, right.
I'm a mega douchebag. Oh, I could change him.
Right, yeah.
He's like literally wearing a MAGA hat.
Yes.
We just need a strong guy to come in
and make galaxy great again.
Make the galaxy great again. That's what I would do.
Yeah. All right, so
he's a goddamn MAGA chud. So he gets a dream and he goes back to Tatooine.
Yes.
His mom, and this was actually something they talked about, and which is kind of fucked up too in Star Wars. The Jedi basically they are a cult. They steal kids at a young age.
Right.
Anakin, which is funny, when Luke, you always were told Luke was too old. Because he was like late teens, early 20s. It's like, he's too old.
Too old.
And then you're told that Anakin's too old, and he's a fucking little kid.
Right, he's like 6.
And he's like 9. He's 9 or 10.
Sure, yeah.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
Well, 6-year-olds aren't making robots, but 9 or 10?
Right.
They're making their own robots in pod racing. But he was with his mom. His mom raised him, so he had attachments. He had emotional attachments. Obi-Wan was taken as a child. Who knows? No emotional attachments to... and again, that's why you would have Count Dooku be there earlier. He had an emotional attachment to his master. You bring that, blah, blah, blah. Oh my god, a plot and feelings and tension and all that. Oh, wow. What a weird thing. That movie had none of it. But they bring up his mom. So he goes back to Tatooine. Takes Amidala with her. Then you get to see Watto again. He's wearing a hat now.
Yep.
I had to buy the action figure. This Watto comes with a hat.
Right.
That one didn't. I gotta have this one. Has a hat now. Mm-hmm. And he's like, Anakin. and then he finds out that he sold them to a guy. And then the guy married her, which is kind of weird, but whatever. And I love the guys that's sitting there. And then you're introduced to Owen Lars and his girlfriend.
Right. Beirut,
who has literally one line.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
This is my girlfriend.
Right. I liked that when I saw it.
It's horrible. It's so bad. It's so bad, that scene. Like Owen Lars, and it's like, why would they wear outfits that...
It just,
Like, why would he look like that? Like,
right.
Why does he have to wear an outfit that he's wearing from episode 4?
Yeah.
Like, it's like... I mean, I wear t-shirt and shorts, but I wear a different t-shirt and shorts.
Right.
Like, I'm not wearing, my Sick of It All shirt right now from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
My dad
and so much time was supposed to have passed.
It's so stupid.
It is.
And then Klieg Lars, that's the guy. He's floating in a chair. The mom, I guess they got attacked by sand people. And it's so, like, he's, like, got a missing leg.
Right.
It just looks so bad and gross. Like, dude, cover that up. He's like, I lost my leg. And, like, the camera's, like, closing up on this disgusting stump. It's like, dude, cover that shit up. No one needs to see that.
Who's the bloody bounty hunter, Dengar?
Dengar. I called him Mummy Man when I was a kid.
Yeah, he's, like, all bleeding and shit.
Yeah.
He's
like, oh, well... I would go and get her, but...
You're going on like an Executor-class Star Destroyer. Fucking change your bandages, man.
Yeah, dude.
What the hell? Like, you're going to meet Darth Vader.
Dude.
It's like a job interview.
Yeah,
it's
look
like,
better, dude. Or maybe not. I mean, they are gross bounty hunters. Maybe look the part. Maybe he didn't wear bandages. He was like, fuck, I need
job
something.
You want.
Yeah, maybe he was like, shit, what do I do? Here's some bandages. Just cover yourself up. Like he was wearing like a suit before.
right.
He's like...
You look a little too refined, Dengar.
Yeah, and he like takes a Sharpie and colors in one of his teeth. No, but like, okay, so then you're introduced to the Lars, and that makes sense because that's a big part. That's a big plot.
It is.
No, that's a huge plot. Luke is raised by his uncle,
right?
Who Anakin had zero relationship.
Yeah,
and then Anakin's like leaves her, but then you see C-3PO, and C-3PO kind of remembers him.
Yep.
And then Anakin goes off on an adventure and leaves her, and they play cool music. Actually, it's kind of a cool scene. I like it. They show the sandcrawlers, and he's like on a little speed bike.
Right.
And, like whatever in the background. And then he sees the sand people. And then the mom's there, and she drops dead in front of him. Conveniently.
Right.
Oh, good, you're here, and I could die. Oh, I've been waiting the whole time for you to come, Anakin.
Yeah.
And then she just drops dead. And then he kills... everything.
Everybody.
And then he comes back. They bury the bomb. I like remember the shadows?
Yeah.
And they show like the Vader helmet kind of with this stupid little Padawan braid, like the shadow created of Vader.
I remember. I also remember.
Okay, so you get to that point, and Anakin has that moment where he freaks out, and it's actually a pretty good scene. It's about he kills everybody, and she's just like, I could change him.
Right.
Then the biggest flaw of the movie. And maybe we'll edit some stuff out earlier. I don't know. Because I feel like I missed like a key moment here. She's like... It's like everything's changed. He can't go back. He just murdered a whole tribe of people.
He's gone down that road.
He can still be a good guy, but he can't be go-lucky. He can't be this anymore.
He can't be a non-murderer.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's a flawed hero now.
Yeah.
Best way to say it.
Right.
In the best way possible. Sure. He's a flawed hero. And they get a distress call from Obi-Wan finally. He's been sending it from the ship. I guess for some reason C-3PO comes along.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. He says, bye to the Lars. Thanks. Nice to meet you.
Right.
We had to meet you. Good thing. We'll come by later. Drop off a kid later. Okay, so then they get on the ship, blah, blah, blah. They go there. And then there's a stupid scene in the movie. Mm-hmm. Incredibly horrible scene. It looked like it was straight out of a side-scrolling video game from the 90s.
Yeah.
The robot factory scene is so bad.
It looked like they said, we need a video game.
They did. They tacked that. Actually, that scene, that whole scene was tacked on. I read about this.
Yeah.
When they do like reshoots, they added that in.
Because it's a level of a video game.
Because even like when they get caught in the end and Boba Fett's completely CGI. Everything's CGI. They literally just had Anakin. They just had Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman show up. They didn't even like... Ugh. And it's corny as fuck.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary. And like, you just saw Anakin murder people, and then like, remember like he gets like his lightsaber destroyed, and he's like, gee whiz, Obi-Wan's gonna kill me. And I'm like, you fascist psychopath.
Well, that
you can't be O.G. Wilkers anymore.
No, that part didn't make any sense.
It's like totally forgotten. It's like, yeah, don't worry, we'll revisit that later. It's like I killed a whole tribe of people, but now I got to do some hero shit.
Right, they didn't sequence that right. Like the progression should have been much more logical, where the villainous stuff happened later. I think. I mean, right? I mean, like.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's the writing is different. It's like Anakin should already be changed at this point. Anakin should already, like I said, he could still be on the good guy side, but he should start be doing questionable things.
Yeah.
He should be the one that cuts off Django's head. He should be the one
Right,
that does...
that would have been perfect.
He's the one that's doing more violent things.
Yeah.
And they're like... And Obi-Wan's like... And then the movie's like... I'm going to have to watch that.
Right.
Or something like that.
It's crazy.
And then, like, Anakin gets married and whatever.
Right.
Like, it... So, it's just, like, bad... And that's where it's bad writing.
Yeah.
And bad scripting.
Lazy.
Bad character development. It's like, I know what I want to do. I want to get there. I want to play with my toys. My toy. I'm gonna have a big battle here. I'm gonna do this.
Right.
But I'm not gonna do none of the components are gonna be done.
Yeah,
right.
none of the legwork to get there.
It's like, and it's not like these are complicated things.
No, look, these are things everybody knows. Like, if you have time to articulate it, anyone can come.
Because then, like I said, it's like, you see Anakin start doing some more aggressive shit than other things. And they kind of hint at it a little bit with him being aggressive going against Dooku.
Sure.
Like where he jumps in too quickly and he does like... like there's another scene where Amidala falls out or something and he wants to stop it and Obi-Wan says to him, like, you're going to be expelled.
Right,
like,
yes.
If you do this.
Yeah.
And you have... she's part of this. She knows... She's doing her job.
Right.
And if she dies, well, she's part of it. She knows, like, she's a soldier in the war. Like, play your part, asshole. But, like, they do that, but they could have built on that more.
True.
So,
yeah,
this movie fucking sucked. More like Attack of the Drones or Attack of the... let's come up with some funny names for this. Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the...
Flip phones.
Flip phones.
Just one of the Matrix thing.
Yeah. Episode 2.
Yeah,
Attack of the Snores. No.
Yeah, it was... I'm glad it's there. I saw it a couple times.
I'm glad it's there. That was Rex Reeves' interview. I'm glad it's there.
All right. Well, that's okay. That's Attack of the Clones. Now we have an interesting one coming up next week. We're thinking about, right?
The Mannequin series.
Right. Mannequin on the Move.
Mannequin on the
Kim
Move.
Cattrall.
That's classic. No. Was
she not in Mannequin too?
No.
Oh.
I don't think that's her in the second one. I think the only returning character is Meshach Taylor.
Oh, wow.
I don't think...
That's a total departure
pretty
for the
sure
series.
Kim Cattrall did not come back for 2. It's so funny. It's like... It's not like she was in things, but it's like, no, I'm not going to be in this piece. No way. I'm too busy.
I got stuff going on.
I'm busy. I got stuff going on. Yeah, it was because the first one had the guy from Weekend at Bernie's.
Right.
This is kind of funny.
Yep.
Hold on. I know this is this is not part of Star Wars.
Sure.
So Andrew McCarthy and Kim Cattrall is in the first one.
Right.
The bad guy in the second one, I'm almost positive, I could be wrong, we could Google it after. Is played by the same guy who played Bernie in Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh, really? Oh,
yes.
That's hilarious.
But Andrew McCarthy is not in Mannequin 2 on the Move. It's the guy from Herman's Head.
Oh, okay, yeah. Right.
Yes.
Herman's Head.
So they synced up finally.
Right.
Andrew McCarthy and the bad guy from Mannequin 2. and they made Weekend at Bernie's. And Lisa Simpson. That's right. She is in that movie.
Yeah, Yardley Smith.
Smith.
Yeah.
Lisa Simpson. No, this is Lisa Simpson. Okay, we're going to talk about...
Inglourious Basterds.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a great movie. I didn't love the entire 8 hours of it.
Yeah, that's right.
But man, the opening scenes are just amazing.
It's brutal.
Yes.
It's pretty amazing. I wish you saw Once Upon a Time and...
Yeah, I might see that before we talk about Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah, you should try that.
Yeah, I think I will. Maybe me and my wife. We'll go check that out. Because I do want to talk about that. Because Quentin Tarantino, I know, spoiler alert, the history of Inglourious Basterds takes a departure at the end.
Yes,
right.
A slight departure. And let's save it for the.
From what I understand, Once Upon a Time.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood also takes a departure with the history.
Yeah, it does take
significantly.
Yeah,
and I think
that's the word. Like
It's an alternate history.
Well, yeah, I know. Liberty.
Yes.
That's liberties with history.
But from what I understand, and I haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yet, from what I understand, they're comparable. Thematically, this is not how it really happened. That he's making a statement regarding something by presenting an alternate history. And I really like that. I love those alternate histories. Philip K. Dick.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Okay, let's save it for the comments, sure. I could go on about Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
And then...
Right.
Inglourious Bastards is a better movie than Attack of the Clones.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But it's not called Star Wars Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, but think of it.
So therefore, it does not... I'm not obsessed with it as much.
Right, that's true. I don't...
Star Wars Inglourious Bastards coming to a theater near you.
I have not Googled the spelling of any characters' names from Inglourious Bastards.
Sifo-Dyas.
I didn't
buy expanded novels or the comic book series.
I didn't try to trace the lineage of any of the characters.
Yeah, you don't have the Ugnaught action figures. I don't understand the lore. I always love that when people talk about Star Wars. Like, they know all the names of the rebels in the beginning of Episode 4. All the rebels that confront Vader in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's people who know all their names.
Yeah, I do not.
And I'm like, I do not know their names. Right. I have an action figure of it.
Yes.
And I like the helmet. Such a great...
We can talk about that. But yeah, theoretically, you should know who signed the Declaration of Independence.
What?
Than you know that...
Is it
Sifo-Dyas.
Sifo-Dyas? Ugnaught?
He was the one who signed his name very large so King George could read it.
Count Dooku?
Count Sifo Hancock.
Emperor Palpatine. Chancellor Palpatine.
Yes. All right.
Well, I mean, if you like Star Wars...
It's a ringing endorsement.
You should watch this movie.
Yeah.
Just because it's part of the series.
Right.
And a lot of stuff kind of happens.
Would you... Last question, then we'll wrap it up. Let's say, would you recommend someone who's never seen Star Wars to watch these 1 through 9? Or would you say start with 4?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I almost would tell them to watch. I don't know. I would not be able. I don't feel like I'd be comfortable telling them to watch 1 and now go watch 9. Oh, you didn't really like this movie?
Right.
Well, guess what? There's 8 more, and then there's 2 other movies. Go watch those.
Yeah.
It's no.
Start with 5.
I don't know. I would tell them to watch maybe the new ones, Episode 7.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, because I would want them to get comfortable in it and watch a movie that is at least interesting and has a flow.
God, could you imagine how I so envy this person? Imagine someone who started with 7 and then got to go back and watch 5. What an absolute joy that would be, right?
No, they have to all watch 1. I would be like, nope, you have to watch 1. Sit through that shit. Watch 2.
Right.
It's getting a little better, but it's also not good. There's also a lot wrong with it. Watch 3.
Yeah.
We'll talk about 3.
Right.
Watch 4. This movie's super old.
Yeah.
It means a lot to me and my generation. I grew up with it. This is American lore. You don't know. You don't know the history.
Well, look.
This is a very important movie. It's okay.
If you've ever read a story, you can look at Star Wars and say I completely understand what's going on here. Everything makes sense.
Yeah.
You may or may not like it. You may find the effects charming as opposed to awesome.
Charming. That's a nice way to... Yeah. And then, but the fucked up thing, you're like, now you're going to see Episode 5, and that movie's amazing, right? And you're like, and that person's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
What? What did you say? It's okay.
Yeah, that's a beating.
Yeah. But I wouldn't blame them, because they'd be so burnt out after watching the prequels that 5 would be like...
Well, and the hallmark of 5.
Now you get to go watch Ewoks in Episode 6. Enjoy that.
Yeah, and the whole screw turned in 5 when you learned that Vader was Luke's father, and every other episode of the series is predicated on that fact. Yeah. In almost every other movie,
it the whole plot, the prequels.
Yeah.
is 2 lines from the original trilogy.
Right.
Clone Wars and
Luke, I am your father.
and Anakin and Luke, I'm your father.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
that's it.
now I gotta go make some backstory, and it's like, you didn't really have to.
Yeah.
I just wanted new Star Wars content.
Right. We were good.
I mean, honestly, like, should they have just made a sequel to begin with and not done a prequel? But the problem is he opened his mouth and promised them that people demanded prequels. They wanted it. He gave it to them.
Well,
they wanted the prequels. They were like, I need to see how someone puts a black helmet on.
I may have been one of those people just because I wanted to see the Clone Wars so bad. And as it turns out, I was wrong.
And they didn't really show it, though. So. You like the Clone Wars? Yeah, well... There's like a 6 seasons of a CGI animated series starring a bunch of characters, and they're not in the movies. And when you watch them, you realize that they don't really even fit in too well.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a lot of work. This is a chore. Listen here, these movies are important to me.
Right.
Do you see how much money I spent on these stupid toys?
The movies will meet you halfway. You got to do some of the work yourself.
Yeah, it's a chore. And actually, we'll end this now. Yeah. It's funny going back to when we talk about Spider-Man. A lot of people make a joke and say how a lot of these studios, they all want to jump on franchises, and they want these big universes.
Yeah.
They're turning movies into a chore.
Right.
Now, I will say, though, the Marvel Universe movies don't feel like a chore.
No.
I mean, I think if you present people the movies and just watch them, and you tell them, because in the end of the day, you could just watch those movies on their own. I think Infinity
absolutely.
War and Endgame are a little tough, but you could just have them watch Avengers, have them watch Avengers 2, and then have them watch Avengers Infinity War. You don't need to see Ant-Man. You don't need to see
not really.
And you don't need to see them. Then it's not a chore. But when the movies start becoming a chore...
Right.
And I think a lot of people, that's why a lot of these franchises don't work, when they say, like, The Mummy is part of the Dark Universe. And you're like, I gotta see this one.
What? That's like 8 movies
I gotta
watch?
see The Wolfman. And then I gotta watch The Invisible Man.
Yeah.
So they could all team up and have a monster mash.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish that'd be great. If it all led up to just the monster mash and it's just cheesy. Like, we do the mash.
Yes. Episode 2, obviously, Graveyard Smash.
All right. Well, we'll get to 3 in probably a month or something.
But Inglourious Bastards next.
And then...
we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. I'm Joseph K.
I'm Rob Israel. You still going on about...
that.
Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That with myself, Rob Israel, and Joseph K. Remember, you can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, CastBox, and Podbean. So remember to like and subscribe, share, comment, leave us a basket of fruit or candy. Thank you for listening. All right, later. Bye.